Hello and welcome to Build Up to a Good Game. It's the FA Cup tie between Brentford and West Ham United. Kick-off just over an hour away. Lineups will be with us in a few minutes. Gonzo, how are you doing?
No, I'm all right, thank you, mate. I'm just switching my camera settings. There we go, far much better now. I'm not looking forward to it more now that I've switched my camera settings. One is separate from the other. Yeah, okay, mate. Not bad at all. I've had the Middlesbrough game on in the background. I've been doing some stuff. So yeah. I'll be interested to see the team, which I know you probably know already, but we like to keep it secret from me for at least 4 more minutes, as is tradition.
Keep it secret. I just don't want to say it, and then it's wrong.
No, I like it. I like not knowing.
I love it.
Wind
you up.
No. It's my choice too, mate. I like not knowing. I hate knowing the team early. I sort of bit like knowing what you're getting for Christmas on Christmas Eve.
Trying to think of something I could say about the team that would wind you up. Oh, okay, I know something that'll wind you up. Areola's not in goal.
Oh.
Has that wound you up?
No, I don't mean I'm past caring. Clearly, I'm not, because I wouldn't sort of tune in and carry on watching. And it's quite hard, if you do a video every day, as we do, to even pretend you don't care. Clearly, I do. I get the right ump with West Ham. I am. I don't really know. I don't really know what to say. I just have no faith in. That's what I have no faith anymore. So it doesn't really matter who he puts in goal. This man is not changing for anyone unless he's put Heggie in goal or something like that, which he won't have done. So there you go.
I shall confirm in a few minutes, but it's not Areola anyway. Michael saying don't pander to.
That's quite right, Michael. Quite right. 8 shoots and leaves, my friend.
God, we said even pandas score more than West Ham. We did our breakfast show this morning. There was some panda chatting here. It makes sense if you watch it, but it's a bit.
Yes, but if you didn't watch it makes no sense.
Yeah, you'll be really confused right now. Do you know something, Gonzo? I'm looking forward to it. I am looking forward to the game. I'm not happy with the lineup, but we'll talk about that in a couple of minutes when it officially comes out. But I'm looking forward to the match because I think the pressure's off a little bit. I think the pressure's on Brentford, if anything. It's like, go on then. This West Ham team plays poor at the minute. You're in a good position in the league. You can take this competition serious. Go on then. Go take it serious. Whereas with us, it's a bit... You've got bigger priorities. And not just league. There's the European competition as well. There's 2 things that take priority over the FA Cup longer term for the remainder of the season. So I think there's an element of pressure off. I think before I saw the lineup, I had this feeling of, Moyes can try something today without any repercussions, really. If we go out the cup, it's not the end of the world, but if try something and it works and we go through, happy days. But also it's like double win because now you've discovered that works, which was a bit too risky to use in the Premier League. You've used it today, it's worked. You can use that now against Wolves. So I'm looking forward to that for that aspect. I think going into the Leeds game and the Brentford game in the league, I almost had like anxiety going into it. I was getting nervous and stuff like that. I don't have that today. So it's actually, I'm looking forward to being able to just watch the game, enjoy the game for what it is. Hopefully we can get a win and go through because it would be nice. It would be a nice confidence boost and get a little bit of momentum going. And this sounds so crap, but this is the reality of it. It would be 2 games unbeaten.
There you go, and I'm sure
I'll take it.
I'll tell you what, the way they were talking about West Ham on the radio this morning, you'd think we'd been brilliant anyway. I'm sure they'd be wheeling that stat out. But funny enough, the lady on the radio was a Brentford fan, and the presenter, and she was saying that there's no reason for them not to go for the cup, but she was saying that this is the next stage for them, So I hopefully, I say hopefully, but I'm sure they will take it seriously.
The one thing I will say quickly, Cycling Hammer it's not being broadcast in the UK. However, if you are a member of our bookies, I'm not suggesting you do sign up or anything, but if you are a member and you've got a penny in your Bet365 account, you can watch the FA Cup games on Bet365 and Paddy Power. I don't know about Sky Bet, any other bookmaker. I don't know. I don't use them enough. I haven't checked out. But certainly you can, within the UK, you can watch all the FA Cup games via Paddy Power, Bet365's app. There is some requirements usually within the app, which is you must have money in the account, etc., to watch it. The only thing I would suggest is maybe deposit a tenner, watch it, and then withdraw a tenner kind of thing. But usually it's 1p for Bet365. My recommendation would be to deposit £10 one pay, and then withdraw £10 and just leave the penny in your account from there on, and you'll be able to watch any streams on there.
You can place a good old bet with that penny, I reckon.
I always say, just make sure you always leave a penny in your Bet365, because sometimes that's what you need for watching. Because sometimes I watch Austrian football on Bet365, but you need 1p in your account in order to watch it. As if you're going to go, do you know what? I'm going to put a penny on him to score next.
I'll tell you what, the long winter nights must just fly by when you're watching the old Austrian league on your phone.
Anyway, would you like to know the West Ham team?
Yes, please.
It does look like Areola is actually injured because he's not on the bench either. So maybe that explains this. But a formation change for the Hammers tonight as David Moyes switches back to a 3 at the back with wing backs deployed. In goal is Lucas Fabianski. Back 3 of Craig Dawson, Angelo Ogbonna, and Nathan Gerd. Right wing back is Ben Johnson with Emerson left wing back. In midfield, we've got Rice, Souček, and Paqueta. And it looks like up front, we've got Jared Bowen and Mikel Antonio.
Wow. Oh, I didn't expect that. I did not expect that at all. That's but I mean, we will assume that Soufal has got in, still sort of bloodied.
Soufal is not on the bench.
Yeah, okay. So I think that if he wants to play 3 at the back, that's about as close to his first team as he could get. There's not many changes there. I mean, if you think Skamaka's not fit as well, I didn't expect him to take it that seriously. I think this is a trial of the formation again. He clearly wants to nail this formation. There's no doubt about it at all. And that midfield 3, did you notice he's been blowing smoke up Ben Rama's arse? He's been saying all lovely things about Ben Rama because he's been dropping him, basically. When he gets to the team, he's criticised. That's how we love Ben Rama. He's been really creative.
I don't know what to say about the lineup. It's a bit of a weird one. I feel like it's not good enough. I feel like I'm not happy with the lineup, Gonzo. But he's put out so many first team players. He's almost like bulletproofed himself a little bit here, because that's on paper, that is I'm taking this tie seriously. You can't have a go here. But I'm just looking at it. I think, well, you ain't going to give Downs a chance today. When are you going to give Flynn Downs a chance, kind of thing? True. And there's 1 or 2 players I just feel, did you really have to leave him out, kind of thing? Could you not have played him? Ben Rama didn't play against Leeds. Could you not have used Ben Rama today as well? Gave him the game time and stuff. I'm not convinced that this is him trying to nail that 3 at the back. Well, it might be. But with Emerson and Ben Johnson as wing backs, I mean...
Who else has he got as a wing back? Do you know what I mean? In the back 3.
Yeah, but that's my point. We don't have...
But he don't care. He doesn't care. I mean, you've said consistently all season that, that if you're going to play this system, your wing backs have got to be excellent. Many would agree with you. David Moyes wouldn't. So he doesn't care. He thinks you can play this system with average players at wing back. He does. He's proven that. Not said the words, but that much is clear. Downs, I just think the longer it goes on, the more it becomes sort of evident he didn't sign Flynn Downs. I think particularly the positions he's deployed him in and stuff like that. I'm not sure how much of Flynn Downs, he watched. He was Ipswich before Swansea, wasn't he? So I'm not sure how much of that he watched. I'm not convinced he is. So I think I don't. Again, maybe it was just we don't know how the dynamic works, but there's clearly maybe with Vlasic and Krau, and there's a few, and I would certainly chuck Downs in there. I'm not sure that David Moyes had too much to do with his acquisition, because you're right, he would. Even if Flynn Downs was like a 10 million spend, which I think was roughly that, wasn't he? That David Moyes was thinking, this is my guy for later on in the season and the future. He'd be starting to bed him in now in games like this. And you heard what he said about Souček. I take it you heard.
No, I haven't seen what he said in his press conferences.
Oh, right. Well, was Souček? He's playing Souček. He's playing Souček. He's going to try and get him playing further forward, which is not an issue. But he very much said he called Downs back up. He called him back up, and he's going to persevere with Souček and Rice and Paqueta. He said this in his press conference. But for the long term, this, if you're expecting him to get dropped, you're not. But and he said we've got Lanzini and Flynn Downs as backup. That's what he said.
Oh, that's not very motivating for Downs and Manuel Lanzini. He's about, cheers, Gaffer. Do you want my transfer request now, or
Yeah, I
when's
agree.
ideal? When's ideal for me to submit this request to leave the club? I mean, it's just arguably it is our first choice midfield three. It's our first choice attack as well. There's no Gianluca Scamacca on the bench either.
Yep.
In terms of defense, again, the back three is his first choice. The only person that could get in there is Kurt Zuma. He's unavailable. Thilo Kehrer, but he's crap at the minute. So it sort of half picks itself a little bit. I guess he was possibly encouraged by our previous performance against Brentford, which was with wing backs. And he thought, do you know something? We did all right in that game. We can control the tempo for large parts. Started well, just down to a stupid throw in, stupid defensive operations at a throw in, which gave them the lead kind of thing. So maybe he's took encouragement from that and based it on there, which would be fair because I think we started well against Brentford. Right, the West Ham bench this afternoon, just to reiterate, there is no Areola. We can only assume he is injured. The bench looks like Darren Randolph with Aaron Creswell. We've also got Pablo Fornals, Flynn Downs, Said Benrahma, Thilo Kehrer, Connor Coventry, and we've also got a couple of youngsters in there as Sawyer and Mubama is on the bench.
I mean, this will have more context when we know the Brentford team.
That really. Bench is basically just whatever senior players aren't starting. You're on the bench. How many we've got spaces we've got left? 2 Gaffer. Right, let's have them. No Lanzini either, which is, I guess.
Well, I can only assume that. So we know, we can only assume Lanzini's injured. So Areola's injured. We can only assume. Well, we know that Soufal is injured because he's got he's got a nasty gash, if you pardon the expression. We know that Scamacca's probably injured. His eyebrow frowning after he scored the other day, or his bottom lip was hanging out so far. He probably injured that or something. Lanzini, we don't know, but yeah, it's as good as he can do if we assume that those are injured.
Yeah, I kind of get it, to be fair. Overall, though, just briefly, are you happy with the West Ham lineup?
I guess so, yeah. I mean, I think that the Downs thing is relevant, as is Benrahma. I mean, this is Moyes' downfall, isn't it? I mean, he really struggles with motivational gestures. I mean, you can only... As damning with faint praise sometimes, he can barely say the motivational words. And that's okay. You can be like that. You can be... sort of stingy and whatnot with your words, but with your actions, you got to sort of display that there is a path into the first team. And I think how good Benrahma has been this season, I do think it's unacceptable at back-to-back games he wouldn't start. And he pretty much, with his comments, he almost laid. He said, we haven't been scoring. And Benrahma was, had been good at the start of the season, obviously been really good, but, we stopped scoring. So he had to come out and Fornals has done well in training. So I put him in. Well, Fornals isn't there now. I feel a bit for Benrahma. I have to say, if I was Said Benrahma and you talk about the transfer thing, I would be saying, now I want to go. I'm done. I'm done. I don't think you could be so demonstrative that you could say to the owners, and speak. I've got enough on their plate at the moment, clearly, anyway, that you wouldn't, But I think I'll be looking at it and saying, do you know what? David Moyes is being backed. He's clearly not being sacked. Back second. So I'll be saying to my agent, can you get me out of here, please? This manager does not like me. The manager's not, if it's not like he's going to move on and someone who plays a more expensive game. Just get me out of here, get me a transfer, please. That's what I'll be doing if I was Benrahma.
Anyway, the Brentford team, there is 7 changes from their previous team in the Premier League where they beat Liverpool, so they are heavily rotated this evening. Okay. In goal is Strakosha, so they've even rotated the goalkeeper. It looks like they played a back three of Ayer, Mee and Beck, with Rodoslav right wing back and Godos left wing back. And across the middle, looks like they've got Jensen and Da Silva, possibly Damsgaard and Lewis Potter as well, just making like a 4 in there, and Wissa up front. So it looks like a 3-4-3. It looks like Godos has been shoehorned at left wing back, Jensen and Silva in the middle, and then Damsgaard and Lewis Potter playing just behind Wissa. So rotation in there, but I mean, rotation's not a bad thing when you're bringing Damsgaard and Da Silva into the team, but it's still 7 changes from their win in the Premier League.
Yeah, but they're not. Yeah, they're not taking this seriously. That would explain it to me. And don't get me wrong, I would imagine Frank is it's interesting. You've got to try and put yourself in other people's positions. So what would you be thinking if you were Thomas Frank? I think you'd be thinking, I've got this guy. I've got this guy. Tactically, I've got him every time. I've beaten him every single time I've come up against him. Would make you confident, you would think. Even if you might be outwardly humble and say nice things in the press conference, but in the privacy of your own sort of coaching den or whatever they call it, wherever the coaches gather, you'd probably be quite confident of it. So you might even be saying, you know what, I think we can put out half a team here for this one. I can still out-tactic him. And then if need be, we'll bring some people off the bench. So I say they're not taking it seriously. He might just be super confident and actually think, even with a smattering, a sprinkling of reserves, he may well be able to get another one over on Moyes.
I think it's important minutes for their squad players. Lewis Potter and Damsgaard, 2 big investments in the summer, haven't yet forced their way into the Brentford team, but I always look at them and think, well, where are they going to play? Because Damsgaard and Lewis Potter tend to be sort of wider players, and then Brentford play with like a 3-5-2 formation. So this change allows Damsgaard and Lewis Potter both to come in, stake a claim, show the manager what they can do. Da Silva and Jensen are 2 good centre midfielders in there. Their back 3 is fine. That's their usual right wing back. Obviously Rico Henry getting rested is a big plus for West Ham, really. And Godos at left wing back is out of position, and somebody that I would normally sit here and say, let's target him, but that would be Ben Johnson's immediate opponent. But it might be a good game for Ben Johnson, actually. It gives him a bit of an opportunity. Yeah. So I think this is good news for West Ham. I think if I'm a Brentford fan, I think it depends how you want to view the cup, really, but I'd be excited to see the new players play. But for West Ham, if I'm Moyes, I'm thinking, right, he's basically giving you a bit of a head start, really. He's basically, there's my second team. Can you beat that one, Moisey? Can you beat my second team? Let's hope so. Let's take a quick look at the Brentford bench then. We've got Cox as well as Rico Henry. Canos is on the bench, along with their new signing, Shade. They signed him a couple of days ago, the striker. On there is also Zanka and Yanelt, along with Stevens, Trevitt, and Yarmolik, or someone. I don't know how you pronounce his name. Don't know who he is. Never heard of him. Yarmolik. Charlie, you've spelled it wrong. It's L-I-U-K, not double L-U-K. Apart from that, thank you, Charlie. Get that sorted. So that's the Brentford bench. Gonzo, you've seen both teams. Let's jump straight into the bet, shall we? Shall we do the bet first?
Yes, indeed.
Right, for you that are new to this channel, where you been? Make sure you're subscribed, and regardless of whether you're new or not, make sure you're dropping a like on the video to help us out. It'd be much appreciated. Right, are you fancying anything for the old?
Yes, I am. I'm fancying Souček to score because David Moyes said he would. Well, more or less.
Would you like to put Souček to score in?
I would, yes, please.
Okay, I'm just checking you're not taking the mick out of the gaffer, that's all.
I am, both.
Wow, he's a big price to score a goal. Bloody hell.
He's indicated he's going to play him further forward. He said, I'm going to try and play him further. He's had 18 months to look at it, and he's thinking, he thinks I might have made a mistake. I'm moving quickly on this.
The worst thing is, right, he said I remember it clearly, last October he said, it's not working with Souček. I think it's the switching that we've done. And he just continue to do it anyway.
He said the other day, I think we're struggling on set plays. We were good at those a while ago, but oh my goodness. Honestly, seriously.
I'm just having a look at the old foul counter. I'm having a little bit of luck on the old fouls on Paddy Power recently, so I'm trying to just pick a player to do fouls in there. Paqueta's a dead cert, though. He always fouls players, Paqueta, so I might just stick with him because he'll be playing centre midfield up against De Silva and Jensen. It's not quite as crowded out as he usually is, but let me put in Paqueta. Anything else you're fancying? Got to go for a Jared shot on target, haven't we? Well,
he will have a shot on target.
Do you think we'll win?
Yeah.
I think we've got to do it, especially with the Brentford heavy rotation. I think we've got to put West Ham to win in there, which is good odds.
I don't think have we ever on a bet put West Ham to lose?
No, we bottle it. We just don't put West Ham to win.
Yeah, well, that's fine. I'm not ashamed of that.
Right, what else we're fancying? That's not enough. We need something else.
What,
Dawson. What about Dawson shot on target then? Because he won a few headers.
I was just about to say Dawson to score. You do Dawson and Souček to score. Someone's getting the big bucks.
Right. The shot on target's fine. That's a big price, right? £225 if this bet wins. If this bet wins, one of you are getting £225. We need West Ham to win in 90 minutes. We need Craig Dawson to have a shot on target. We need Thomas Souček to score a goal. And we need Lucas Paqueta to commit 2 or more fouls. In the live chat, please put the following phrase.
Sorry, I'm just looking at the bench. I almost forgot his name.
Brentford
bench. There you go. Yeah. Sorry. Big Your Mollocks.
I
forgot his name. I know it was something like that. I almost just said the word rather than his name. Oh, I know what it sounds like, but what's his name again? Yes, Your Mollocks. Big Your Mollocks. You better spell it right, you lot.
Right, yeah, we'll keep an eye out for the spelling.
And I'd be grateful I didn't say sweaty.
Now you've seen the teams, how you feeling?
Sweaty. I don't care. I honestly, I couldn't care less. I'm sick of it all. I'm sorry. That's it. Thank you. I'm enjoying the build-up show more than I'll enjoy the game. I think, Geo, in all honesty, I am so fed up. I'm so fed up with David Moyes at the moment. I really am.
Okay, right. Let me change this round. What could he have done different to that team that you would have been happy with?
Mate, listen, I went and watched my son play football earlier, and it was absolutely, it was chucking it down. David Moyes could have stood next to me with an umbrella over me, driven me home, taken me out for something to eat, dropped me home, honestly, and paid me electricity bill for the week, and I'd still be annoyed with David Moyes. There's very little David Moyes could do now. I don't like the way he's treating players. I don't like it. I don't like his stubbornness. I don't want him to come out and say, that's it. Souček's in for the, just stop.
Yeah, I never seen that, right? But there's a bit Allardyce and Kevin Nolan to that. And
there is, yeah, for sure. Yeah, which I didn't like either. I just think I just don't like what he's done with Ben Rama. And I think I consistently said this for a long time, Gio. But when people were saying, this, I was consistent with it. You'll even be able to finish my sentence for me. When people were saying Ben Rama is Marmite, you either love him or hate him, right? I would say,
you don't. Neither. You don't have to. You can just like him.
I don't care. I would take him on face value. When he was poor, I'd say he was poor. When he was good, I would say he was good. I didn't really have an agenda with it, right? But so I didn't overly defend him when he was rubbish and Moyes didn't play him in the team. When he used to take the shot and lean back and hit it over all the time, when he was predictable, I would say he didn't deserve to be in the team. When he wasn't looking like a left winger, he didn't deserve to be in the team. That's not the Ben Rama we got now. The Ben Rama we got now is a really, really good attacking player, our best attacking player this season. I just don't like it. I just don't like the way he's treating him, and I'm sick of it. It's so transparent. Basically, if Ben Rama plays poorly, it carries a value of 10, right? With David Moyes. If Souček plays poorly, it carries a value of 1. Or -1. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, he has to do 10 times better than anyone else. I'm absolutely sick of it, and I don't like the Flynn Downs thing either. No, look, what can I say? I'm just very, very frustrated with the manager.
I can tell it's coming through. Don't you worry.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean it's the same conversation we've had for a while, and it's I guess it's disappointing that we always have to keep having it because it suggests that there was a problem and there remains a problem and nothing's getting sorted. And it's difficult, this one, because last game I was convinced we were going to play a back three because I didn't believe Kera could possibly be playing left back. And to be honest with you, even with hindsight, I still think we couldn't possibly be playing Teal Kera left back. I mean, he was there, but whether he played or not.
That's a bonus. He's not playing. That's good. Sorry.
But with this one, do you think it's, I mean, with the Rice Souček Paqueta thing and then Bowen and Antonio, do you think it's the sort of 3 centre midfielders with Souček pushing forward and then Bowen up front with Mikel Antonio for this one?
I would think so. And that's what David Moyes alluded to. I think so, yes.
Yeah, so then that would suggest that there is no position for, say, Ben Rama. But the problem was, I let Moyes off with that last time, and there was a position for Ben Rama. You put Fornals out there. And the funny thing is, I think Fornals actually had a good game against Leeds, and yeah, he's dropped in all. This would have been a good game to try Rice, Fornals and Paqueta in midfield as a 3. And I'm a bit disappointed that we haven't. I didn't know the Souček comments, obviously. that's a bit disappointing, whilst unsurprising, because it's made me worry for the Wolves game a little bit, because when we spoke the other day, I said we're starting to form a bit of a spine now with, Fabianski's a keeper, Gerd's in there now, we've got Rice in there, Paqueta's now got his position in centre midfield, Bowen's on the right, Ben Rama should be on the left, Scamacca up front. Well, I think to that spine, I think you can remove Saeed Ben Rama, you can put in Thomas Souček, and I don't like that. I think Moyes' spine's a bit different to how I would like it to see it for. I mean, I think that's worrying a little bit. And, he could have a good game today, Souček. It's possible, because that Brentford team is heavily rotated. It's not the Brentford team that we played a week ago where they beat us. And in that game, we played well for periods of it. I felt there was some positives to take from it. The first 15 minutes, we could have been 2-0 up with Dawson's head and Declan Rice hitting the post. And then they sucker punched us from a throw-in. But they still had Ivan Toney up front. They had Mbuemo up front as well. They had Rico Henry on the left. They don't have that today. Whistler's a good striker. Dansgaard, I think, is a damn good player. So there is dangers there. But we've got to be beating this. If I was Kevin Nolan, I think I'd be showing David Moyes, the Brentford team, and saying, mate, we need to win today. If you get beat by that is going to be sheer embarrassment on your part here. If you cannot beat Brentford reserves, if you cannot beat Brentford's second team, you think it's bad now, you get knocked out by this Brentford second team, it's going to get even louder and more vicious, because Moyes has played a lot of his first team today, a lot of it. That's his front five, essentially, for the Wolves game starting today. And if we cannot beat this second string Brentford team,
I mean, it's actually, but I feel silly saying this, right? And when I say I don't care, I don't mean I don't care.
Oh, mate, it's not bothered you in 7 years saying stuff that makes you feel a bit silly. You carry on.
That's true. That's true. I care so much that I don't. It's a bit like I've got a train once, right? I've got a train to Putney. And the train to Putney got cancelled. And they put a replacement bus service. It took bloody hours. Wait for this replacement bus service, right? And then I got on the replacement bus, and the replacement bus broke down. They kicked us all off the replacement bus, which broke down halfway. There was no bus stop there or anything. As we got off the bus, it started to rain, right? At that point, I'd been furious at the train, furious at the bus. At that point, I just started to laugh, right? It's ridiculous. What's going on here? And this is how I feel at the moment. It's got so ridiculous and so bad. Honestly, I think if we conceded a throw-in today, I think my anger's so far gone. If we conceded a throw-in today, honestly, I think I could almost watch Kevin Nolan come on with his iPad. I go up to David Moyes and say, I think we might be having a little problem with throw-ins here, Davey boy, Moisey, old son. Honestly, it's bordering on the ridiculous. They need to basically, I don't care. They need to win today, and they need to win against Wolves. If they do that, then I will start having some faith again, I think. But I just don't have any at the moment. It's gone. It's called gallows humour. I've got gallows humour with West Ham at the moment, because honestly, it's like watching Benny Hill, or what Lee. It's like watching a Lee Evans stand-up routine. He's falling over all the time. It's ridiculous.
Roger, you're right. I forgot about the Scamacca thing. Garino, disappointing lineup, back five. Areola, we assume, is injured. We assume Lanzini's injured as well. And Scamacca, Moyes has spoke about how he's just come back from injury, and that's why he could only play an hour against Leeds. So there's mitigation around those. But Ben Rama, Downs, they're sat on the bench, mate. Right, it's time for you guys to get involved in the live chat. It can be your comments about the West Ham team, the Brentford team, anything as long as it's relating to tonight's game. Get into live chat, and we're going to take a look at see what you're all saying today, please. People are a bit worried that you've got the wrong side.
I'm fine.
You were in a good mood earlier.
Yeah, I'm not in a bad mood. I'm not in a bad mood. I'm really not. I'm fed up with David Moyes. I'm all right. Thank you.
Nobody's saying Areola shouldn't start. We assume he's injured. He's not on the bench. Nobody's saying Areola shouldn't start. But I don't know. People keep asking about where's Areola, but he's not there. He's not on the bench. So we have to assume he's injured. Garino's Scamacca's not on the bench. No.
I always just assume some people have joined the stream later than others. So obviously, a lot of this stuff you covered. We've discussed this stuff at the very start about Scamacca and Areola and whatnot. But yes, we assume they're both injured, basically.
The Harry Boy says, poor from Brentford. Why on earth do teams not go for the cup? One thing I do love about Moyes.
Well, he does. That is true. He really does. Apart from the Everton away game.
What about the Blackburn game?
Yeah, bugger. Down, out, Moyes out. Good point.
I think it depends on the circumstances. Like, don't get me wrong. But yeah, I'm not having it. He goes for the cups. You know, that Arsenal game as well. When he first came in, he threw it. It was a quarter final. Away to Arsenal. Wow, don't bother. We'll bin that on when it went off. So does he go for the cups? Possibly, but yeah.
I think by and large he does. I've got plenty of other stuff to chuck at him. I'll let him have the game for the cups.
Adam says he needs to go. How is Downs not starting over Souček? We're seeing Souček struggle with the basics. Mainly his passing. Downs helps us with the possession. Yeah. I would have picked a better lineup. KM is not too keen on David Moyes. Hammerhead Hardy says perfect game to experiment, and we've done the same rubbish over and over, guys. Ben Rama's not starting, it's just a joke. Mubama scoring for fun, and Antonio not a striker.
He needs to score, by the way. So Hammerhead Hardy, they're talking about Antonio. Antonio needs, or at least show some real goal threat. I need to see something from him, I think, here, because I'm adamant we need to go and get a striker. I think we should go and get a striker anyway, but I'd need to see some threat from him.
Toby said hopefully Mubama comes on with more than 10 minutes to go. Major says his favourite Gonzo is a drunk one. He was in a good. Gonzo was in a good mood earlier. He was in good spirits with Panda Chat.
Well, but that was because we weren't talking about West Ham. That's why.
Lewis says we've beat Premier League opposition twice away from home since January 2022. It's hard to be hopeful. Paul, there's nothing in the UK. There's no UK broadcast, but legally within the UK, you can access it via some betting apps. Do your own research, but you can do betting apps if you wish. And it should, because of that, it should be viewed overseas. If you're based overseas, you should be quitting.
Yes, Sportsnet in Canada have it. I know that for a fact. Which is no use if you're not in Canada.
Charlie's just told me he's going to be a couple of minutes late to the stream because he just smashed his knee and is now bleeding. Charlie's injured as well now.
Excellent.
Next, he's going to tell me he's just seen a specialist, then they've only seen it twice in 25 years.
I've never seen him. He might be at a stream. He might be in France somewhere. We don't know.
We played the same formation against Leeds with Fanal's left wing back. Moyes is trying to. I don't agree with that. Do you agree with that? I don't think Fanal's was left wing back. I saw it was 4-3-3 against Leeds. I
got to be honest with you. I thought it was a very, very odd formation. I really do. I thought there were times when we didn't have the ball, that's exactly where Fornals was. I think when we had the ball, he could almost go where he wanted. I thought it was a really odd formation against Leeds. I struggled to know what was going on, which is fine. Clearly the players didn't know for a lot of the time what was going on either.
I do know for sure, Mick, it's on Paddy Power and Bet365, but like I said at the start, there is some requirements with these in regards to having money in your account and stuff, but you can obviously deposit, say, £10, watch the game, then withdraw the £10. But I don't like to promote them too much because what's for...
Hey.
I'm not biting. I'm leaving it. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not.
I like we should do like you have like a drinking game.
Well, a shot every time someone
says Areola. Well, it does have to be Areola, but whenever the person, there's one person's not there, every build-up show, because there's always people. But obviously,
people are doing on purpose. People are watching from the start. Keep saying, "Are we smashed before us?"
Mischievous, yeah, they do. Of course they would. So cheeky.
Razor West Ham says, "Not a bad lineup. Just a shame Moyes is still here. We won't win another game with him still here. I'm a winner, and the fans know nothing." Well, that's the problem, isn't it? If you say stuff like that, it's going to come back and bite you in the derriere.
It won't shift. It won't. I'll still be, listen, if I'm still around in 30 years, I'll still be talking about Allardyce cup in his ear. You cannot. You're not shifting that stuff once you do it, basically.
Roger said, dreadful lineup, 2 wing backs that can't cross, 2 centre backs and Dawson and Bonner who are uncomfortable in the back 3, no threat up front. Brentford reserves 3, West Ham 1.
Oh.
Jen says that Antonio is a striker and a good one. He's just aging. I think 2 fast pinpoint crossing fullbacks are more important than a new striker.
I'll take all of them. To be fair, I know striker and fullbacks.
Lewis said a good proactive manager will look at this Brentford team, take advantage of the rotation. Will we? I don't have faith we will. I think we will play it as if it's their first 11.
I don't think we ever change for the opposition that much. I don't think he spends that much time looking at opposition and what they do. If he did, if he was that type of guy, he'd be quicker with his substitution. I think he's got so much faith in his own system. I think that's what. Well, we discussed it before, didn't we, Gio? It's like Pep Guardiola. So I don't ever worry about the opposition. We just play our way, and I think Moyes is a bit like that.
Barb said, I don't necessarily agree that Antonio is not a striker because on his day he's a very good, dangerous one. But it seems his day has passed.
Yeah.
Hammerhead Hardy has said Danny Ings in for him. Another Danny Ings fan. Gives one a break if we use Antonio in his correct position. Let's keep going. Richard said there's no reason for the handbrake to be on today. Have a crack if we lose.
I love that picture, Richard. I love that picture.
You always mention that whenever I click on
it. I like it. I do. He looks cool.
Dave says he's with you. After weeks of frustration, disappointment, he's also reached gallows.
If you don't do it, Dave, honestly, you go bonkers, mate. At some point, you have to start laughing and taking the mickey out of it, really.
Gavina says we'll see Charlie in 5 months. Nice little Maxwell funny.
Hey, but to be fair, we knew when we signed Charlie we were getting an injury prone. An injury prone. What would we call Charlie? Don't say anything rude. Presenter, editor.
I don't know. I think he's just got everything in his CV. I think he milks it. I think when someone says, "What do you do at Hammer's Chat?" So I edit videos. I present.
He's like the Phil Neville. He's like the Ben Johnson
thumbnail creator. He did. Ben Johnson.
That's a little snort. Then I don't like a little pig.
Ryan said, I think if we see this spirit and fight we had against Leeds, we will win today, considering the changes that they have made. The Hammer Boy says Antonio needs a big game to check. Also, we need to see the wing backs actually impact. Also, I'm not convinced we have the players for this formation or the idea on how to play it.
I reckon Charlie's faking it. I reckon he's pulling a sickie. I reckon at the moment he's thinking, I'm going to get away with it. He's got the old ketchup out the cupboard. He's pouring it over his leg. He's wrapping a rag around it. Oh, and he's going to come limping towards his chair and all the rest of it. His microphone won't be working, of course.
I'm not biting, Mark. I'm not falling for it. I see what you're doing. Good try. Good try. Dan is providing clarity that Ariola got a knock in training. So there you go. That should clear it up for some people.
Yeah.
Hammer Boy says, off topic a little bit. That's fine. We've got time to kill. Charlie's slacking. He says, do you believe in the idea of it being a transition season?
Somebody, I can't remember who, and I do apologise, did Moyes' record at Everton. First couple of seasons, good. Then really crap, right? I mean, almost got relegated one season. Then the rest, it was all sort of like top 6 finishes. So there is evidence there. And I just always say that's fine. We can take that evidence if we want. But it's dangerous just using the Everton evidence. He has managed other places as well. But there is that.
No. The last 2 games, I've seen more of a transition in the last 2 games than I've seen all season. It's too late, though. I needed to see that on match day 1 onwards. That's what I keep saying. If Brentford and Leeds were the match day 1 and 2 of the season, I'd be okay with it because I could see stuff. I could see Paqueta playing centre mid. I think, don't worry, there's enough things here to be positive about. It will start working. But it's not. It's match day 17 and 18 of the Premier League. It's too late into the season to start doing stuff like this. It's too risky. I'm disappointed that we never saw stuff like this at the very start of the season because we've wasted a lot of time and we've gave up a lot of points and trying the same thing over and over again. And today is like a bloody hybrid of the two, where it's like a little bit of what we used to do and a little bit of the new stuff. What are you giggling at?
It's like that one.
The one you clicked on by mistake is a fair comment as well from Andy, which is 4 changes of formation in 4 games back. How did the players get to grips with so many changes?
He's watched the World Cup, Andy. He's full of ideas. This is what's happened. He's not finished it yet because he's a bit behind, Moyes. He never does anything quick. We'll hear next week and say he'll turn around and say, "Oh God, you see Messi in the World Cup final."
Adam says, "I am the Mark Noble of Hammers Chat. You are the Roberto, and Charlie's the Jack Wilshere."
Quite right. He's injured himself on the tumble dryer or whatever it is.
That was funny. I keep forgetting about that. Now and again, then you just remember it. Right, what we're going to do now is score prediction time. So if you're watching live, please get your score predictions into the live chat, see what you're saying. And while I'm clicking on them, Gonzo, can I get your final words and score prediction, please?
Oh, my final words. Final words. Sort it out, Moisey, would be my final words, basically. Can you please give us something to get behind? All this, I could say something about shape and players and all the rest of it. Can you just try and sort of either motivate your players, motivate the fan base, give us some form of belief that you know what you're doing would be really, really good, because it doesn't look too good at all. You said to me, Geo, he said to me lots of things actually, but a couple of days ago, you said when we did our preview for this very game that this was almost a no lose for Moyes. All right. I think the Brentford team has made that.
I agree with your way to say here.
If we get beaten by basically Brentford reserves, then I with particularly he's actually by playing a strong team and they played a weaker one. If they beat our strong team, I'm not saying he'll get sacked. He won't. He will still get to do the Wolves game, but it will be untenable. It really will. The criticism would be huge, and that is by. I'm not even massively sure we need to stay in the FA Cup this season because of the trouble we're in and because we're in Europe. But even people like me who are not that bothered about it would think Moyes has mucked up massively. What are you laughing at?
I saw a funny comment. I've started it. Don't worry, I'll be able to find it. I'll show you in a second. What's your score prediction?
Oh yeah, I actually think we'll win. I'm going to go. I do. I think we're going to win. I think we're going to win 3-1.
I'm going to say 2-1 West Ham. I think the Brentford team, and it's not just that, it's the historical results of Brentford in the cup competitions this season and last season as well, give me a little bit of hope, because you can put out the team you want, but if the attitude ain't right, then, and I think Brentford's maybe been a bit guilty of that in the past, which is, we put the team out, but I want no injuries, I want no silly bookings or suspensions or anything like that kind of thing. I don't know. This is the comment that made me laugh. Stevie said, if we concede a throw in our half, we're fucked.
This is true.
This is
true.
I'll tell you what, Theo. Jared Bowen. Jared Bowen's going to score. I think Jared Bowen's had a really good 3 games in a row now. Arsenal, Brentford, Leeds. I think he's played well in all 3. He's looking better. I think today he's a little bit more central and forward. And I think we're going to see a Bowen goal. And I actually agree. I think Souček or Dawson is one of them might get on the score sheet, because against Brentford at the London Stadium, we looked all right at set pieces. Dawson came close on a couple of occasions, and I'll take anything at this point. I have to say, I agree with Nicola here, which is Wissa is a brilliant player and going to score. He's in incredible form, caused Liverpool all sorts of bother.
Yeah.
Brentford set pieces caused Liverpool all sorts of bother as well. So it'll be an interesting game. I think can't believe I'm way to say this, but Brentford rotating their team that heavily has almost made it a bit of a leveler. That's where we are at the minute. But that's how I feel. That's honestly how I feel. But
I'll tell you that the biggest. It's a really small thing, all right. But this is an issue for David Moyes. We talk about gallows humour. So the Leeds game, you heard the song from the Leeds game, which is basically the West Ham fans singing and celebrating because we had a shot, right? And then the Leeds fans started singing "You're rubbish." And then all the West Ham fans like, "Yay, we're rubbish." We know, different song, not that song. You understand? That's an issue for David Moyes. I do think so. That it's, that it's got that ridiculous. It's not just me with the gallows humour. Lots of people are feeling it at the moment. And this is part of his responsibility to turn it around. He needs to do something. He needs to do it now.
Right, while you're all here, please do subscribe to Hammers Chat and drop a like on the stream by clicking thumbs up. It helps us out and back. Charlie, have you recovered?
I heard all these comments, by the way. First of all, microphone working, Gonzo, in your face. Second of all, right, I'm not Jack Wilshere, okay? I got injured once and twice if you include my back. Anyone else I'd take, but Jack Wilshere concedes that I'm a sick note. I'm bleeding. It's quite bad. I'm actually really hurt.
So you're like, as we see, you're like Vladimir Sufal, just get up and get on with it. But then he went off in the last game, so you're not really.
It did look very Sufal-y. It was just a big flipping cut on my leg. I smashed it into the coffee table like an absolute idiot. Bad. But what can you do? Geo, I've got a bet on. What a time to be alive. You know what I mean? It's all going wild. It's all going hog wild today.
Tell us what it is. If this bet wins, by the way, this is Charlie's winnings. Nobody's getting them, but Charlie,
it's dire. This is a poor. It's just Dawson on target, Whistler on target, easy. I was like, I might as well just keep the money in this account. So what's the most likely things from both teams, and then that was it. So
what are the odds out of interest?
For £10, I think I get 50 back. I think
it's a 4-1. Yeah, well, that's not bad. Just for two players.
Bet responsibly, Charlie. Bet responsibly.
He did.
That was the most responsible. I mean, the responsible thing is West Ham to lose, but you know, you can't back that. You can't back that. You can't.
Anyway, right, me and Gonzo are going to disappear, Charlie, and we're going to leave you to it, and I should be back at half time for a chit chat with you.
All right, appreciate it. Enjoy the game, both of you. Hello, everyone. How are we all? I hope you're well. Hope you're good. Hope you aren't bleeding like I am, because I've had a couple of shows ago I was bleeding. My hand's still barely recovered, and now my knee's bleeding. I've got paracetamol that I have to take at some point. It's rough. It's rough, but I hope you're all well. Anyway, let's go through the teams. While you do that, you can see them running across the bottom of your screen. However, I will ask you on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the most confident possible, 10 being the least confident possible, how confident are you of a West Ham result? And while you do that, let's have a look at the teams. Before I do that, actually, people asking for a stream. Of course, it is not available legally in the UK unless you're going for a betting app, which is why I've put on a bet today so I can watch it. However, if you are looking for a way to watch the game, because you do want to just avoid that whole scenario, which I would highly recommend, then there are definitely ways you can do it. If you scroll down into the link in the description below, there's a bit there called Join Our Discord. If you click on that, it's completely free to join. West Ham, lovely Hammers chat community. Fans of all clubs welcome, but more importantly, on the left-hand side, if you click there, there's a bit called Stream Links, and you should be able to find what you are looking for. In the meantime, Ryan, thank you very much for the £2. Looking very attractive. Thank you very much, Ryan. You know, I'll take that. That's very kind of you. That's very kind of you. I know usually Gonzo's your guy. I'm assuming it's the Chris Evans in Knives Out jumper I've gone with. I'm assuming that's what the vibe is. But thank you very much, Ryan. That's very kind of you. I'll put your name in the corner in a second. West Ham line up as such. Fabianski in goal with Johnson, Dawson, Ogbonna, Agard, and Emerson in what looks like a back five, with Rice, Souček, and Paqueta ahead of them, and Bowen and Antonio up front. I would suspect it's some sort of 5-3-2, although it wouldn't shock me if Paqueta was playing sort of wide left, Bowen wide right, Antonio up front. But I suspect it's a 5-3-2. The bench being Randolph, Cresswell, Fornals, Downs, Benrahma, Kehrer, Coventry, Sawyer, and Mubama. I don't know. Let's see how the vibe is for the people. If I see Ed, I'm going to get very excited. I've had a lot of people talk to me about Ed this week. He's made an impression. 3, a solid 6.5, 11, 3, 6, 6. Come on, you Irons, 5, 3, 3, 4. Japan Jani after France possible surgery. It was me. I was the other person that one doctor has ever seen in 25 years with that rare injury. It was because the injury is rare because I smashed my knee off that table right there. It was me. Cornet was here and he did it as well. It's a stress. 4, 7, 4. Yuri is surprised that we're going full strength. I agree with you. 4, 3.3, 7. Thank you very much for asking me on, Stu. It was very kind of you. I was on a disabled team last night on extra time. We had a lovely old conversation about West Ham, about Leeds, about other football things. Highly recommend you go checking it out. And Toblerone. Good to see you. Not bad, Celtic. Apart from the knee and the back end of COVID, you know, I'm doing all right. 6. love to see it. You love to see it. Let's have a look at the Brentfords. Let's have a look at the Brentford side while we go through some of these extra numbers. Brentford line up as such. Strahoska, who I bought once on Pez a couple of years ago. So when he was at Brentford, that confused me. He starts in goal. You've got Roslev, Aya, me, Beck, Godos, in what could be a 4, could be a 5. Very much so, Paul. Could be a 4, could be a 5. I'm not sure which way it's going to be. I guess you could say Beck could play at left back. He has done in the past. Louisa could see. And as Afa says, come on, get in the Discord. But also Godos could be getting shoved in at left wing back, potentially. Good. Get on it quickly, Richard. Quickly. You're going to miss kickoff otherwise. Take the supersonic jet like I do. Jensen and De Silva in starting midfield, potentially with Damsgaard, although he could be playing wide with Lewis Potter and Vissa down the middle. Their bench, Cox, Henry, Canos, Shade, Zanka, Janelt, Stevens, Trivet, and Yamaluik. And it is an I. I read it as 2 L's. I read it as an L. Honestly, I'm painkillered up to the max right now, David. I'm painkillered up to the max. Wayne saying 0 confidence, 10 hope, which I can appreciate. I mean, it's difficult to feel confident over recent times, right? It's difficult to feel like, yeah, we're really going to go ahead and we're really going to make something happen. Because it's not. But I ring back in my brain to before the Leeds game and the poll that we do. Are you happy with the starting lineup? Which is, by the way, is still running. I forgot to tell Geo Gonzo it was happening, so I just thought, screw it, we'll just see how it goes. We'll carry it on. And that was the first time where we said the team was poor. And there wasn't much confidence in that game, to be fair. You look at it and you say, well, it's probably, Kara starting at left back, always a terrifying thing. Suchek in there, lots of thing like that. And yet somehow, I feel like that was probably one of our better performances this year. Maybe it was a 4-3-3. A 4-3-3. Welcome. Maybe it was a 4-3-3. Maybe it was the people. I don't know. But I just think that was the first time where we collectively said that lineup was poor. I'm trying, mind, to convince myself that my lack of confidence now is somehow a good thing. Now, we all know it's patently untrue and a bit stupid, but I'm giving it my best shot. We'll see how it ends up playing. Urias Paqueta has played left wide for Brazil. He did well against Uruguay. When he played out wide for AC Milan, he was never great when I saw it anyway, and I know most people, when I read out about him and stuff, that's what people tend to agree with. But like I say, I'm not sure whether or not that lineup means we'll see him on left wing or whether we'll see him in a 10 position. We'll see how it goes. I'm not entirely certain yet. No Cornet again. He posted on Instagram that he's on the recovery trail, so we see how that ends up going, Mark. But no Cornet again. Pete's going for a 6. Happy, my G. How are you, my friend? I haven't spoken to you in a while. Hope you're well. Hope you're good. It's got up to 3 now because of what Brentford have done, not Moyes. I mean, they have changed a lot. And E. Davis says, why are we risking Rice and Paqueta? I think that's an interesting question. Why would we risk them? I think part of it is, potentially, is the lineups go along the bottom of the screen in case you just missed them. I think part of it is, to be honest with you, the idea that you building momentum. The draw, as bad as that is, as much as that isn't, Oxby, thank you. We'll be lobbing that up in the top corner in a second. As much as a draw isn't anything crazy or isn't anything wild or impressive or anything like that, it is at least not a loss. And I think there were some positive signs to it. So I think if you are trying to build a partnership, and I think that's one of the things from the Leeds game is something to learn from, is that midfield 3 of Souček, Rice and Paqueta, which arguably is our strongest back midfield 3 against different opposition. I would maybe take out Souček and put in Fornals, for example. But in general, especially with David Moyes, I think that's probably the strongest midfield 3 you're going to see. I think there is an argument to be said. They need to learn. They need to get going. They need as much game time in that formation as possible, because both of their goals come from people just sort of being all over the shop. Rice, I think notably in the first goal, was pretty out of position. So if we can get them continuously playing together, even in games like this where it feels like a risk and we don't need to play them, then I think that's a good thing for the rest of the season, whether David Moyes is here or not. I think that's a good, important thing to do, because 4-3-3 is something that we would be seeing, I think, going forward. And if it is a 3 in midfield, similarly to how we played in a 4-3-3, then that's beneficial. They just need to get that learning together, that's part of the bedding in process, right? That's the way I'm seeing it anyway. Could be wrong. That's the way I'm sort of choosing to look at it again. Could be unbelievably wrong. Charlie Woodgate, good to see you, my friend. 3, and that's high compared to recent week. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Back on the cheese and chat tonight. Ed, listen, I hope I see Ed. I haven't seen his name, but I haven't been looking too much. I hope he's here because I think he was a hero in the last stream. I think he was the guy in the last stream, and I would love to see him back. And there are baby bells available, for those wondering. Lee, good to see you, my friend. Hope you're well. Hope you're having a good day. There'll be no kicking today, Lee. I've hurt my knee. It's bad. Bad. And the Oxby, thank you very much for the $4.99. Now, let's get on to sub bingo, shall we? Let's bring up the subs bench. You don't have to tell me who you think's going to come on. If you want to add that a little bit of spice, you can. However, sub bingo is the game where we predict when David Moyes will make his first substitution. So just lob the time in there. However, I will say 69 minutes as per usual. And I will say it's going to be... I think Ben Rama will come on. No, I don't. I think it'll be Fornals. I think it'll be Fornals for Aged. I think Fornals to Aged, switching to a 4-2-3-1 maybe. That's kind of what the idea is in my head. Let me know how you feel about it. Oh, my guy. Ed, you absolute legend. How are you, my friend? Thank you. Keep me honest, Ed. Keep me honest, okay? I'm not gonna lie. If the chat want baby bells, the chat asks for baby bells. I can't control it. It's a democracy. I put a poll up. If they say yes, then we go for it. That's the way it works around here. So I can't control it. But keep me honest, Ed. Let me know how it goes. I hope you're going well. It's on a few of them, I believe. I'm watching... No, definitely not today. It's on a few, I believe. The one I'm watching on is Paddy Power, but it's on a few. Like I said, I would not recommend it, though, because betting is, a fool's errand. All you have to talk to is Geo Mackie and see how often he loses. How much money he doesn't gain, I guess, to see it. But, yeah, it's on a couple. But more importantly, if you are looking for a way to watch it, that's not that. There are definitely ways you can have a look. Let's have a look at some of these sub bingos, shall we? Thank you, Jeffrey. It's good to see you, by the way. Thank you. I'm trying to just scroll to find where it is. Do the classic YouTube streaming. I need to find something, so I just need to make a noise to fill the air. It's always... I don't know why everyone does it. I do it. Geo does it. It just is the way it is. There we go. Find it. Right. Breezy, who by the way is the best football manager content creator on the internet. I don't care. Twitch, YouTube don't matter to me. Yeah, it's Breezy, and then it's everyone else. Not interested. Zealand, get out of here, mate. It's Breezy. Saying 84th minute. Hope you're well, by the way. 57, 67, 45, 65. Listen, I'm just... You're gonna stick around, bro. You're gonna stick around I trust your judgment implicitly, Dean. I've followed you for years on Twitter. I trust you implicitly. 60, 65, 72, 66, 45, 45, 63, 73, 75, 62, 46. Stuart saying Benny's going to come on, as is Paul P. De La Cruz, who's going for 84th minute Benny for Suchek. Late Ben Rama is a strong shout. That's a very strong... Thinking about it logically, late Ben Rama is an incredibly strong shout. Rich is saying 89 minutes, whereas Andrew's saying half-time. 46 minutes says Charlie. 68 minutes, 90 plus 2 says Benny. Super Haj is saying 86. I apologize for mispronouncing your name. Mubama, 80 minutes. I mean, that's one of the ones that you'd love to see, right? That's one of the ones that we would be big into seeing, is the idea of Mubama coming on. Thank you very much. I hope you're well, bro. And not insulting me as per usual. Subscribe to Hams Fans United if you haven't already. Come on. Mubama would be a really nice thing to see. I'm not confident it will happen, but I would be really keen to see him getting time on the pitch. I mean, you're looking at the bench. There's a couple of people on there who are young. Sawyer and him, namely Coventry. You can include in that as well. He would be one of the ones I'd be most excited to see come on the pitch. I think Fornals coming on would be good because he played well in the last game. Downs getting any game time at all is always a grand old time. Ben Rama is not a bad option from the bench as an attacking option, and you know, someone who can come on and change the game potentially if we need it. There's some options there. There's some options there. 6 minutes, fear and injury. It's me. I am. Give my first. No, baby bells only. Describe. I mean, the true answer, Stevie, is both me and my girlfriend are still quite ill, and we haven't been asked asked to take it down. We were planning to at some point soon, but I can't act like there's a deeper reason than that. Look, do I like Christmas? Yeah, I love Christmas, but that is the true and honest answer. We're both just ill and haven't had the energy nor the inclination to take it down. I suspect by the next game it will no longer be there. But for now, it's just a nice little vibey bit in the background, you know, pink flashing light. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Sub Bingo, he subs off the Triceratops for... Mate, I would be here for it. I was watching a tier list yesterday of dinosaurs, and it made me very excited about the idea of dinosaurs. I'm here for it. I'll take it, Jeffrey. I'll take it. No, Ario, we must be dead club. He got injured, apparently. There is an injury. Brian, I don't know. He's not on the bench or on the team, so I assume injury as well. If anyone else knows, please do let Brian know. I'll take a bad Prem season if only we win a cup. Conference League would be good. I think that's a lot. I think a lot of people would say the same thing. I think a lot of people would say the same thing, just the channel. Ladies and gentlemen, we are 5 minutes away from kickoff. There are all kinds of light shows going on at Brentford currently. It's a vibey time for them. And it's just to remind you one more time, it's not on any channels in the UK, unfortunately, because they don't like us being able to watch the beautiful game. For some reason, that's just not something they vibe. So if you are looking for a way to watch it, I would highly recommend checking out the Discord below. It's called Join Our Discord, link in the description below. Fans of all clubs, welcome. Completely free to join. Lovely West Ham Hammers chat community, but more importantly, I don't have to say it's a bit called Stream Links. Click on that and you should be able to find what you're looking for. But now we've gone through the teams. We've Justin Foley Scars indeed. He had a banging game that one time and he's just disappeared. You've seen the teams. We've discussed it. They discussed it at length. I smashed my knee. We've discussed it briefly. So what I would say at this point is let's get those score predictions going. He's gone Blazer. Blazer t-shirt combo. Hang on. Changing tactics. This is the stuff we're going to have to keeping an eye out on. Clothes is a big thing. Blazer t-shirt is a bit wild. Feels a bit Phil Spencer at Xbox, if you know what I'm talking about. You know, I'm just saying. But let me know. What your score predictions are. Now we've gone through it. Oh, how we almost at 5? Jesus Christ! Tell you what, we just keep trucking. What's the next big? What? Are we the biggest? We are the biggest one, right, Ben? Are we? We've got the biggest West Ham server, right? Am I crazy about that? Because I remember when we first started it, we looked around and I think someone was at like 1,000 or something. Let me know. I'm interested to know because I want to get there. The other thing I need to say, by the way, is let's get those likes going, ladies and gentlemen. If you're new around here, you haven't already subscribed, make sure to do that. We were the only West Ham fan channel last season to do a watch along every single match day without fail. We've only missed 2 since the beginning of doing them. We've only missed 2. That's how on point we've been with them, right? Even today, smashed my knee, literally bleeding. I'm here doing it, right? So if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell notification button so you don't miss out on any future videos because we've got tons coming up. It's January. You've got the transfer window. You've got managerial stuff kicking off. You've got just loads of different football things happening. Just because there's less matches doesn't mean we won't have less than that. So if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and like the video. 300 is the goal. Last time out, we smashed the record by such a massive margin. We were West Ham versus Leeds. We had, what was it? It was like 1,080, I think, by the time we finished. Now that's a pipe dream today. We ain't gonna hit 1,080. 300 maintains to be the goal, but we're at 220. We're at 220, so we're close. We're closing in. 300 feels doable by half time, even potentially. We'll see how it goes. I'll end the poll now, by the way. In how do you feel about the starting 11s? 8% said very happy. 11% said fuming. 28% said poor, and 53% said yeah, it's all right. Sort of back to where we have been. Fair enough. The teams are getting ready to kick off. So if you haven't already, like I say, check the link in the description below. Find the Discord, find a way you're going to watch it as Declan Rice and I believe that is Jensen maybe shaking hands. And it's a big game. It's FA Cup. I can't act like I don't. Am I that fussed about FA Cup this year? No, we've got very much so. We've got the good to see you, Mark. Good to see you, Chuck. We have the Europa Conference League, so part of me isn't that fussed about the idea of this game, about the FA Cup in general. I'm not like super scared of it, but to be honest with you, a dub would go a long way for us. Form-wise, vibe-wise, a dub would go a long way for us. So hopefully we can get something here. Chat seems relatively confident with score predictions, to be fair. Relatively confident. Love that. Love that. We just keep grinding it. We'll smash everyone. Anyway, we're about to kick off, ladies and gentlemen. There's the timer in the top corner, which will tell you exactly how far behind or ahead of you I am. I don't know how that's going to play out today, given the way I'm watching the game. Don't know. I don't even know how close we'll be, but we'll have a look. It is West Ham to kick off live at the Brentford Community Stadium. Come on, you Irons. Deploy the boys. Time to run two things. All that good stuff. It's the FA Cup third round at the G-Tech Community Stadium. I forgot. It's now officially sponsored. I forgot that's now a thing. And it's going to be an interesting state of affairs. Trying to figure out. So things to figure out first. What is our exact formation? What's Brentford's exact formation? I'm looking at it. Emerson is wide left. Is that a back three? Looks like it, I believe. Looks like it, I believe. Yeah, I'd back that. I'd back that. The problem is it's not. It looks like a Blackpool kit. I'm not even against it. I don't mind the kit. It's just one of those things. You know what I mean? By the way, available hammerchatstore.com. Made it myself. I know I mention this every time I drink from this cup, but I'm very proud because I genuinely drew everything on this cup. Well, apart from the lines. The lines are not drawn by me. But everything else is drawn by me. Hand-drawn. Effort. Put a lot of effort in. Big boot up the pitch from Brentford, clearing away. West Ham starting high up the pitch. Don't know how well that's going to go long term. We'll see. Rice hooks it forward. Nice nod down by Mikel Antonio. Tried to be flicked through from Thomas Souček. Trying to run in behind there. Mikel Antonio can't quite manage it. It's nice. Nice early signs. Good pressing from Emerson and Souček getting involved. Antonio battling for it. This is nicely done. Down the left-hand side, Mikel Antonio. Referee blows the whistle. Wasn't bad. Wasn't bad. Cheers, bro. Appreciate it. Enjoy the game. Enjoy the game. I'll see you at halftime. Souček. That's going to be a foul. It's a foul on Souček. I thought it was like an offside or something on us. I believe it was anyway. Although maybe not. Everyone sort of has moved away as if it wasn't. We'll see when it zooms out. We do have the tomato. We do have the tomato sauce build kit. I honestly, genuinely, I like it. It isn't going to be a free kick to us, by the way. It's going to be a free kick to Brentford, which is what I thought. I like it. I can't act like I don't. I'm not in love with it or anything. I do like it. Stephen, I will hang on, give me a second. There are the lineups, my friend. West Ham have Fabianski, Johnson, Dawson, Agerd, Ogbonna, Emerson, Rice, Souček, Paqueta, Bowen, and Antonio. But I'll have them running across the bottom screen for a bit. It does sort of look like a midfield three. The three in midfield does look like the same makeup as last time so far. To me, it does look like the Leeds game in terms of just those three. Obviously, we weren't playing a three at the back in that game, a little bit different, but that's what it feels like to me. Long throw to Mikel Antonio. It was a decision that went badly for us. Let's move on. That midfield three does look the same. You've got Souček on the left-hand side. You've got Rice sort of in the centre and Paqueta to the right, which is what it was against Leeds. Again, the key makeup, I brought this up before, was the fact that Souček is on the left, where usually Souček is on the right-hand side of a midfield two. So in that sense, I think it is exactly the same. Antonio just ahead of him. Yeah, Souček is very advanced on the left-hand side a lot of the time. Bowen is wide right. Yeah, so it does look like the sort of 5-3-2 we were thinking about. Wait, apparently, yeah, Paddy Barrel's the way to go. Apparently. Should buy and put it on Danny DeVito. It's expensive is the problem. And that's the last kit I bought, and that's how long ago it was. so I wouldn't be against it, though. I wouldn't be against it at all. Get him the worst kit every season. Just lob it on him. But yeah, it's expensive. Stuff we share a name. Is it? Well, hello, Charlie. I hope you're well. I hope you're having a good day. Stuff for you. I'll call you Charlie from now on. I hope you're having a good day. How are you saying this about the FA Cup? But if your club's like West Ham and Leeds, this is a damn squib game. Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I think there's if you're in a relegation battle, you kind of don't want it, and especially for us, where we also have Europa Conference League, it feels like a massive distraction. Even if we didn't have the Europa Conference League, I would still sort of be for it. I would still sort of be for the fact we should be going for it. But with the Conference League, it just feels like something that we shouldn't really be gunning for, personally, you know? Brentford, I think it is a back three. I'm looking along the lines of it. I think it is a back three. Because imagine if we stay in this, right, and then March comes round, we're back in the Europa Conference League again. We've got that, we've got this, and we're trying to survive in the Premier League. It feels like too much. Although extra games gives you more time to build confidence, so, you know. Though having said that, it's very two. But they're very... I don't know about Brentford's formation. I believe it is a back three. I think it is a back three, but I'm not entirely certain. My tree is fine, Wally. I don't know what you're talking about. That is fine. I mean, it's going to go within the next week, but it's fine, mate. It's fine. Listen, trust me, I understand fully. I understand fully why people would hate it. I don't know what happened to him. Does anyone know what happened? Same. Does anyone know what happened to Skamaka? I believe it's just he's injured, but I haven't heard anything. And someone might have said in the chat, and I've already forgotten, to be fair. They're passing it around at the moment, Brentford on the left-hand side, trying to find their way in. Well, that's a nice. Oh, it was a nice searching long ball. They were looking for a big long ball over the top of literally everyone. The teams were quite squished, and they tried to find it, but couldn't quite get there. Instead, it rolled straight into the hands of Fabianski. We could put in a performance today that could be the blueprint for us going forward. There's no pressure here, so let's go for it and see what's good. That's a good point. That's a good point. To be fair, I agree. I think that's part of the reason why probably we're going stronger. Is trying to find that form, trying to find that rhythm. Because if you can get that in this game where there's no pressure, like you're saying, Brentford have switched up their team, there's not a lot of pressure on us to win this game, then that could be a beautiful thing going forward, especially when it's one game a week at the moment as well. There's not going to be many times for us this season, if we go far in Europe as well, where it's going to be this few games, only one game a week. And so with a whole week to recover, I'm kind of here for it. Thank you. The correct answer. Correct answer. I think it's great. It's my favourite one we've had, so I'm happy with it. It's well, I'm watching on Paddy Power, and apparently they're quite quick. I never knew this, but they cut out in and out a lot, but they're apparently quite quick. Brentford attacking down the right hand side. We've been the more aggressive of the two teams so far today. They're passing it around relatively well at the moment. They're keeping possession, but they're not finding any joy. The 5 does give you a lot of people at the back, and we've sort of we already squish up a lot. There is just a big wall of humanity, white and orange shirts, standing directly in the way of Brentford, and they keep passing it around this right-hand side near the corner quadrant, trying to find a way into the box centrally. They're also not trying to go for the cross. They're trying to work into the box, and it's not quite working out. Although that's a nice flick down the left-hand side. They've horseshoed over, and then again we just block it out. I think we'll be fine with them crossing in. I mean, well, that's a nice ball into the box. We tried a little flick around, couldn't quite find it into the hands of Fabianski. I think they wouldn't. We'd be quite all right with them crossing into the box. I mean, Keane, Lewis Potter, who else is in there? Damsgaard, Risa. These are the sort of people who you're going to be seeing more likely. They don't have that bigger people up front. Aerially, you think we should be very, very safe. So if we can just keep the defensive shape like we were just doing there, and not allow them to work their way centrally, which is what they're going to want to do when they have control of the ball like that, as long as we just keep it there and you can say to us, oh, go on and cross the ball if you want, it's not going to work out for you, then I think that would be beneficial for us. That's a nice ball down the left hand side though to Mikel Antonio. He's charging through. He's got Jarrod Bowen in there. He can't quite find anything. He wobbles straight into the Brentford midfielder. Poor, very poor from Mikel Antonio there, losing the ball. Just, I don't know. I've also just realised that I haven't put the names of people who have donated. Thank you very much, guys. I completely forgot to do that. I apologise. I'm doing that right now. Ryan with the solid £2. Thank you very much. And then Yoxby. 449. Thank you very much, guys. That's very kind of you. Much appreciated. Much appreciated into the full-time fund. I completely forgot to put your names in there. West Ham now attacking down the right-hand side again. Bowen does find a lot of space. Oh, that's not bad into Antonio. He's struggling in the opening 10 minutes, Mikel Antonio. There's been a couple of times now where he's had really nice opportunities to just do literally anything and he's failed every single one. I'm not keen on that performance so far. But we're seeing Jared Bowen out of the two. Mikel Antonio, I mean, we know he likes to create space and make those runs down the left-hand side anyway. But with Jared Bowen, you've sort of got someone who's mirroring that on the right-hand side. It reminds me a little bit of Diafra Sakho and Enner Valencia when they were playing up front together in the diamond shape formation we were playing under Allardyce for 6 months, where when one pulls wide, the other one sort of stays central, and then when the other one pulls wide, the other one stays central. You have that nice bit of balance, and again with the three, that allows Thomas Souček a lot of the time to find a bit of space. Ben Johnson trying to put the ball in from the right hand side, deflects out, and it's just going to be hoofed by Brentford. It's a bit awkward, poor header, but that's fine. Control from Paqueta, can't quite get there, and West Ham win possession back. You love to see it. That's good work. That's a very good work. Like I say, they sort of like, because we tend to play down that right-hand side where you have Johnson there, you've got Bowen, we like to find Jared Bowen a lot. That sort of leaves their space on the left-hand side because Antonio stays central. So if you think about it, Antonio stays central, Bowen comes out, flick it round, so it's how you would see it. Antonio stays central, Bowen sort of moves out to the right-hand side to sort of create space, which means you have this big chunk of space on the left-hand side clean. And where Thomas Souček is, which is on the left of a midfield three, that gives him the space to get into those advanced areas really nicely. Lots of space ahead of him to move into, which, you know, in a build-up phase is not what you want. You don't want to pass the ball to Thomas Souček and him start trying to play it around on the floor, right? But that's not what we're doing. We're trying to find it down that right-hand side, get those crosses into the box. We've seen Jared Bowen putting in good crosses. Sufal had a very good game. And putting it into that space where Souček would be is a beautiful thing. Deckers, good to see you, my friend. I hope you are well. Lawrence, I can see you as well. Good to see you. Having a little scroll just to make sure nothing's gone completely peaked on. I play FM Mobile and won the Conference League with West Ham and sold Rice for 114 million. Side Dybala for 18. For 18? For Dybala? That's a signing. That's a signing and a half. West Ham are good on Football Manager, man. West Ham are good. Souček is also worth a lot of money. I sold Souček on Football Manager last year to Newcastle for like 17 million in the first season. It was insane. You love to see it. Oh, Jesus Christ. You know, it's not great. It's not great. If he is true to his word and he's only there to sell the company, then good. The sooner it's out of his hands, the better. I quite like not having a problematic WWE to watch. I've seen some of the potential suitors. For the most part, it's just sort of TV companies, people like Netflix, Amazon, you know, people like that, fine. Disney, people like that, fine, whatever. Not ideal, but fine. I've seen Saudi Arabia, the PIF, being involved in that. Would be very heavily against that as an idea. I could see it happening, but being very against it. But in general, as long as he doesn't get involved in the actual business and more importantly, the shows themselves, then whatever. Like, but I can't see him doing that. It's just like you say, he's no chance in hell. I just can't see it. I did see the one where he was like, "Oh, everyone's been really nice to me for the last 24 hours." I did see that. 13 and a half minutes into the game. I think we've been the more progressive two teams, but Mikel Antonio has been sort of a little bit all over the shop today. So he's not quite fit and firing like we would want him to, but still. Positive. Not the best. Look, not a high flowing, like incredible start. We're not like turning up like prime Barcelona or anything, but a positive start. Although that is a nice ball from. That's a great ball in for Brentford. Oh my God, Jesus Christ, that was close. Risa can't convert it. That was really nice. Just a defense splitting pass from deep down the right hand side for Brentford. I think it was Lewis Potter. I'm not entirely certain. Just their right centre back, whoever it is, plays a really nice ball round the back of whoever that is. I think it's Gerd. And then it's pulled across. It's a nice early ball in. And Vissa, under pressure from Fabianski, gets in between Dawson and Ogbonna and can't quite get the conversion. That was really close. Flipping heck, that was close. I am not going to do a high kick to celebrate. I don't know if you were here during the build-up show. I absolutely smashed my knee into the coffee table we have, and it's bleeding. So it's definitely no high kicks today. I am in pain. Ball comes in, headed away, thankfully. It's going to be a throw into Brentford, quite an advanced area. Hold on to your hats, people. It's a throw in our half. Right, whipped in, cleared away, not very well. So it's not come directly from it. We're safe a little bit. It's not come directly from it. And we managed to force Brentford all the way back to Strachowska, or however you pronounce his name. One throw-in survived. We're good. Skamaka is another person on FM who's really good. I've been watching. He's not here now. He's come back at half time. But Breezy, who comes into our chat, who's a lovely guy, by the way. I know I big him up every time he comes in. Genuinely my favourite Football Manager person. But he's doing a West Ham season on his YouTube channel on FM, and Skamaka been absolutely destroying it there. And whenever I've used him, he's been incredible. Very good on FM. I tell you, FM at the moment's fun with West Ham. We're all right. James, how are you, my friend? If you aren't subscribed to E20 Zone TV, then make sure to do so. How are you, my friend? I hope you're well. Hope you're good. Hope you're having a grand old time. See? Decker's nose. Come on now. Mr. Pardew is a beast everywhere, Mr. Pardew, It's going to be a free kick to West Ham. Fabianski to take it inside, about halfway inside our own half. Big hoof forward again. That allows. We're just aiming at Souček. That was the thing. That was one of the other benefits in the Leeds game of Souček being on as well as Skamaka. Is we didn't have to aim those big boots at Skamaka. We could aim at Souček as someone who's actually going to be able to win those headers. Brentford not harrying, but just covering those passing lanes, making it a little bit uncomfortable. Especially when we're on that right-hand side, you want to be doing that quite a lot. Because I'll be honest with you, yeah, it forces out. We're going to win a throw-in from it, but a bit awkward. Especially when we're passing it around at the back, especially on that right-hand side with Dawson, potentially Ogbonna, Johnson. Not the strongest in terms of passing. Johnson's not bad. Dawson is good at long passing, short passing's nothing. And Ogbonna's not bad either, but he won't be involved super amounts. So the idea of just covering over passing lanes when you're Brentford in that situation, good. That's a nice ball. Oh, nice. It was close, just behind the back of Antonio there. Paqueta tried to find his way into him, couldn't quite find him. It is raining a lot. That's a nice little control there from Ben Johnson. Whereas the left-hand side at the back, we obviously have a Gerd who's significantly better at passing. And so pressing that's not going to be as effective. Souček does well there to battle for that and keep that ball. Good work. Then puts it into a decent space. Emerson just a little bit crowded out there. Antonio does well to recollect the ball on the far side. We're talking left corner quadrant, trying to find his way into the box. Lays it short to Declan Rice. Back to, Paqueta. Antonio goes, for some reason, and then a spectacular effort from Paqueta, nowhere close to being remotely in the area of the goal. It comes to him, snaps volley on his left-hand side. It is what it is. Watched you last night on Safety. Well, thank you very much. It's very kind of you. It's good to see you again, Michael. I hope you're well. Probably this week. Me and my girlfriend have both been really ill, so we haven't had the energy to even begin taking it down. So probably this week. Now we're both sort of slowly getting back to being normal human beings. But thank you for coming, Michael. It's really kind of you to say. West Ham attacking again. Oh, shot from range. Just pulled wide. From, I think it was Jared Bowen. Who did I say was going to be my shots on target, by the way? Who was it on my bet? It's Visa, who I've already got. He's had a shot on target. And Craig Dawson. Craig Dawson's was the stretch, but I went for something safe. You know what I mean? Can you roll the teams? Yes, of course. Sorry, Judas, my trustworthy friend. Of course. For you, anything, my friend. For you, anything. What I meant to do there was take your comment down. I took down that. I apologise. There you go. There we go. We're creating though. Nothing unreal, but we are creating. Declan Rice staying sort of firmly back as well, which is good to see. I think he's going to be key to going forward with this sort of three in midfield. His discipline in that area is going to be really important. And, you know, I was talking about this on the Disabled team yesterday. The idea of taking over the mantle of Mark Noble and being sort of Mr. West Ham too. You sort of need... Mark wasn't trying to go for the spectacular all the time. Mark wasn't trying to do something insane. He would pass it to the teams pass it to the players who are better, you know? He'd pass it to the players who are better and try to find those sort of spaces. And Declan Rice needs that. He needs to be reliable in that sense. And reliability does come more from, you know, being strong and staying true, like being someone you can rely on in the centre, as opposed to going up the other end of the pitch and taking wild shots that never go in. You know, that's kind of what we need, especially if we are to get the best out of like Paqueta and Souček and other players around him. For now, we really need that person in front of that backline screening, making sure we still have something in midfield. So start against the second string Brentford, risking injury player league. You could certainly word it that way. I'm not too mad about it. I'm not too mad about it. I'll be honest with you. I'm not too mad about it, but I can see the idea. A solid choice in game. Planet Coaster is a banger. It could be. I was thinking that exact same thing. Planet Coaster is a banger, to be fair. Good stuff. Good choice. Very strong choice. Had it go with Frankel. Well, unfortunately, he didn't get locked in the escape room like I wanted him to. I did try my hardest to try and force the issue. Maybe I'd taken a hit for the team. I'd get locked in there with him if it meant no one else had to see him. But unfortunately, we did escape the escape room. We did do well. We did go to a Chinese after and go to the party. You know, it is what it is. It is what it is. It's a shame. I've managed to avoid him for years. You know how it goes. Nice control by Brentford again down the right-hand side. Tried to go in for an early cross with the left foot swerved inwards, but doesn't quite work out. Big boot in towards the box. Easily collected by Fabianski. I'm sorry, Major. I'm sorry. For your own sake, I hope it goes well. Oh, that's poor from Brentford's defender. Lets Jared Bowen in. Lays it off to Thomas Souček. Mikel Antonio steaming through. Doesn't quite work out. Ends up on the left. Ends up on the right. Oh, Paqueta. Referee's going to pull it back. It's going to be a free kick, I believe, against Paqueta there. He went down and was trying to find a way into the box. Couldn't quite manage it. Battling for the ball. One of the things I like about Paqueta, and one of the things I think David Moyes would like about him, is he's not Dimitri Payet and he will just go missing. He will battle for the ball and try to make it happen. He's going to fight. He's not just going to sort of let it go. And in that instance, he takes a bit of a knock because of it. Overstretches, trying to get his... Trying to keep... I think he keeps it in, to be fair. I think he keeps it in. It doesn't really make a difference. I'll tell you what. Yes, we'll do it again. Every single time you ask me, no my, I will... Well, we'll see every single time. We'll see for now. But today, again, if we hit 2k likes, I will twerk. I will do that. What are we at now? I did change that. Good. We're at 262. Okay, we're at 262. If we hit 2,000, I will twerk. It has to be before the stream ends, obviously. So whatever. By the time it ends, we'll do it. I'll do it. I'm sorry in advance, Drippy. Wait, does that mean he's coming back soon? Scared. All the way back to Fabianski, big boot forward. I'm scared now. Thank you very much, Evie. I doubt it today. I did not. We didn't hit 2k. We hit 1,000 though. I'll be honest with you. We hit 1,000, as Evie said there. See if we hit 1,000. That feels out of place today. I don't think we'll hit 1,000, but we could. 400 seems doable. 300 is the aim, but 400 seems doable. dinked across to the left-hand side. That's nice. Looking to try and cross the ball in. That's not a bad ball in, and thankfully it goes straight through to Fabianski. No Brentford players attacking it robustly enough to get anywhere near there. West Ham can go for the build-up again. It's nice to see us building up play. There you go. A little bit of space. 3 at the back. Finds a Gerd. Allows that little bit of space forward. It's nice to see us passing along the floor. Apparently, Mr. Pardew, he got a knock at some point. I don't know when, but apparently he got a knock because he's also not on the bench. If I bring up the bench, you can see Randolph's on the bench and there's no other goalkeeper. So I think apparently he got a knock. Don't know how, but yeah. And if it's a choice between Fabianski and Randolph, then I'm picking Fabianski 10 times out of 10. If it's a choice between Fabianski and Randolph, I'm selling Randolph and still playing Fabianski. Or awful from Brentford. That's really awkward. And Darren Brown tries to calm it down and it's hoofed away in the end. But that was really awkward at the back from them. Rare as well. They're not usually that sloppy. Not usually that sloppy. Depan saying he's watching through VIP stand. However, if you are looking for a way to watch the game, there are ways you can do it. 1,000 was mad. CB, first of all, good to see you. Second of all, I'll be honest with you. I don't think we'll hit 2K. If anything, it's a challenge. But I don't think we're going to hit 2K today. I think we're safe on that one. Big ball Fabianski collects. I mean, I thought it was concerning last time when we were going close to 1,000. We were flying last time. We'll probably get to 300 before half time. It looks like we're at 287 now. Thank you very much, everyone. We'll probably hit 300 likes, but 2,000? I doubt it. Brentford players play in. Oh, nicely done from Paqueta. That's really nice. He's got Jarrod Bowen ahead of him. He's got Antonio there as well. He went for it. He went for the spectacular pass through to Mikel Antonio. Didn't quite work out. It was really nice. He flicked over one of the Brentford players in the build-up and it started charging, steaming forward. It was a really nice idea, but didn't quite work out. Now Brentford can pass it around. The game doesn't have the entertainment factor of the West Ham Leeds game, to be fair. But it's not bad from our perspective. I'm relatively happy with our performance so far. It's not the best performance you've ever seen in your life, but in terms of what we have been like in recent years, it feels like, it's not that bad. It's not that bad, you know? Positive signs. Still struggling to get anything into the box, but positive signs. I think Mikel Antonio's not having a good game, but there's something happening. We need to build as a building block. I'm not against it. As a building block, I'm not against it. Is that true? Has anyone else had the problem? If so, let me give me a second. It should work. I'm not sure why it isn't. I'm not sure why it isn't. What was your name? TPS. I'm not sure why it isn't. Let me see if I could just get a direct one and just spam it in the chat. Not spam it, but you know. There you go. I've just posted a Discord link in there for you, TPS. Is it Trezeguet? Yeah, it's Trezeguet. So use that. See if that one works. It should be fun. Last in chat? I don't know. He comes in, he shouts some abuse, and then he goes again. I don't remember what match it was. Months at this point. Fee, good to see you. Hope you're well. Hope you're having a good day. I did have a good holiday. Thank you very much. We got ill, but apart from that, we had a lovely holiday. I hope you did. Hope you had a grand old time. Hey Ducks, you can click on the Discord link in either there or in the link in the description below, and I'll tell you what, you'll find what you're looking for, my friend. Brentford trying once again to find their space down the right hand side, working their way centrally now, while moving back a bit, back out wide to that corner quadrant. They're finding themselves there fairly frequently, and we're dealing with it fairly well as well. We are very deep. I will say that. We are very deep. Every single person back, basically. And I think it probably says a lot about how confident ball done. Yeah, I'm sorry. I got distracted by the graphic. They played the ball over the left hand side. I couldn't find it. Brentford have also 46% of their attacks have come down the right, 37% down the left, and 17% in centre. It also says a lot probably about how confident your boy Thomas Frank is against David Moyes, that he's happy to play his second string team. Also shows where their priority lies probably in terms of the cup, and they've not really been known as a cup team, Brentford under Thomas Frank. So. But half hour gone, like I say, I'm relatively okay with it. It's building blocks. It's not perfect, but it's building blocks. That one doesn't work for me either. Interesting. Ben, if you're in here, I don't know if you are, feel free to put a link in the chat. I don't know if it'll work. I don't know how quickly that'll get blocked. If you are in here, Ben, that one should work, mainly because I literally just copied it and pasted it from the Discord itself. But then again, show should want to blow. I'm not sure what's wrong. No issues with Discord on my side, says Dean. Okay. Brentford tried to bend it into the box. It's going over the top of everyone. Again, back out to that right-hand side. They tried an early ball, but there just wasn't anyone quite there. Brentford again, once again, just playing it outside of this left to this right-hand side, and it's just not working for them. Nicely done, I think, from Paqueta. Looks like Paqueta, I think. Awkwardly done by Emerson on the far side, and Brentford win the ball back. Well, nice little bit of trickery there. Finds himself a bit of space. West Ham a little bit of 6s and 7s, although not properly. They've got enough structure to stop this, as Brentford make the exact run Leeds did, and the shot from range goes high and wide. They made a very, very similar run there with Keane Lewis Potter as they did Big Willie Gnonto did from Leeds, where running basically right across our midfield from that space where there is a little bit of all over the shop, but we were in much, much better positions that time, and they end up taking a wild shot from range with his weak foot. Nothing too afraid. Anyone picking out any amount of foul throws? Have they done a lot of foul throws? I haven't seen that at all. I haven't picked that up at all. I'm all over the shop, apparently. That is an amazing, but also an awful stat. It's wins against Danish teams as English is god awful. My lord, that is bad, isn't it? That is awful. And probably accurate, maybe. I think what we was talking about this on Stable Team yesterday. What did we in? Just testing the links. They're all seem to work fine. All right, Ben says they're fine. I trust Ben. Ben's the person who runs our Discord. He's a genius. He's a legend. He's a lovely guy, but also he understands technology way better than I do. So, yeah. Yeah, I'll be honest. Yeah. What were we talking about Stable Team yesterday? What was it? 4 wins this season so far? Smeet. Good to see you. I think this game is very much there for the taking. I think if we get a little bit more... I won't be doing that, Trouty. Good to see you, by the way. But I can appreciate the vibes. I think if we can figure it out in that final third a little bit more, with sort of attacking down that right-hand side, finding a bit of space, playing the balls in towards Souček, I'm fine with that. But I think... I'll be honest with you. I think the thing missing is... Antonio's just not playing that well today. I'm not super hyped about his performance. So, don't get me wrong, room for improvement, certainly. I'm just more happy because we don't look abjectly awful. We just look quite dull right now. I don't know what that means, but I'll take it as a compliment. I would never want more me. I want less me, if anything, usually. So, you know. But I'll take it as a compliment. Thank you very much. We're comfortable despite the position. Yeah, that's sort of the way I'm going with it. That's sort of the way I'm thinking about it. I would pay to watch this. It's the sort of way I'm thinking about it, you know, like, again, they've grown into the game, certainly for me. They've got sort of more, they've been getting more and more possession as the game goes on. First sort of 15-20, which is usual for us at the moment. We felt like we were sort of the more aggressive, the more on top of the two teams. But since then, Brentford have been getting more and more possession of the ball, and we've sort of been looking purely for the counter-attack, and that's lessened us a bit. Like I say, just dulling us a bit. Amni, or Amine, however you want to pronounce your name, or Amy. Link in the description below for the Discord. Apparently it is working, and there are things you'll find there, or whatever AFA says. Go to Discord, scroll to the bottom left, you'll see add server, then click join server and put in that. There you go. Ben with the knowledge that I don't have, because I am stupid. Feel free to put that in. Oh, bloody hell, that was close from Brentford. Oh my god, they've just hit the post. Oh my god, they've just hit the post. Offside gets called in the end, so I don't know if it would have counted. I don't know when the offside happened. It was a free kick. It was sort of an aimless free kick. I've said the entire game that I felt pretty confident if they were to cross balls in that, it wouldn't be dangerous. The header comes flying across the box, and then so the ball comes flying across the box. Declan Rice's header is straight to a Brentford guy across. It was a very weird placement. He just sort of gets the head to it, and it ends up a snapshot across. Just pulls it off the right hand post. And thankfully, there's an offside call. But bloody hell, that was a terrifying moment. That was a terrifying, terrifying moment. It's sort of... See, I agree with you. I think it's a bit much. It's sort of even... But it is sort of one CDM. I mean, you look at it, Rice is really the only one that's being told to stay back. The problem is when Brentford get on top of us, which they have been recently, we all retreat. And so it's not even 2 CDMs, it's 3. Paqueta's back as well. You know, everyone comes back. That's going to be a foul. Shot comes across straight into the hands. Referee, I think, waves advantage anyway. But that would have been a foul. Or waves play on, but it would have been a foul. But in terms of when we were on top earlier on in the game, it kind of was a one DM, you know, system. It was just Rice. Rice was really the only one that was tasked with staying back. And then Paqueta and Souček were given the sort of free roam to find their way forward. It's just defensively, when Brentford get on top of us, or when any team gets on top of us, we do just straight into ourselves, and that's where that comes from, you know. It's annoying to watch. It's annoying to watch that we are so scared, but we always have been on David Moyes. That's what he builds his team on. He builds his team on defensive solidity, and that is every single man back, every single man defending. I've also found it interesting how much free roam Paqueta has had. Like I said, earlier in the game, their roles of Souček and Paqueta felt quite defined in terms of positioning. Souček was sort of on the left-hand side, Paqueta was on the right, although they seem to have switched now, which is interesting to me. I'm not sure why, but I'm fine with it. Drippy's calling for a belt early belt. I respect it. If the chat went with it, they went with it. Like I say, Ed, we are a democracy around here, you know? The chat call for it, they call for it. I'm having paracetamol because I forgot to take it. Because frankly, I forgot to take it. And hurts. Knee hurty. My knee, it hurty. Etc, etc. So I apologise if you can hear foil breaking. I'm about to hit more. Gridlock football, no movement allowed. I think Moyes hates football. I don't think he's particularly keen. I mean, Moyes' handbag is rusted solid. Paracetamol is very good. I enjoyed that one, to be fair. Yeah, like I say, I think I'm starting to be convinced that he says for the opening 15, 20 minutes, you know, play with a bit of freedom, go for it, vibe a little bit more. But then the second that dies down, everyone go back into themselves and be more cautious as the game goes on. Because it's very frequently that we're doing this. Very frequently. That's a good tackle, though, from Thomas Souček, to be fair. Finds Paqueta. Lays it out wide again, looking to get a little bit forward, drive the ball forward. He's got Emerson to his left, who he finds eventually. Emerson was just sort of standing there, waiting for the ball. Instantaneously, the ball gets passed back to Paqueta, and now we spread it across. The horseshoe begins, ladies and gentlemen. We are going back up the right-hand side. 5 minutes left, plus stoppage time of this half. You know. As a football match, to quote Mighty Boosh, it's about as edgy as a Satsuma. Not exactly the most thrilling match you've ever seen in your life. Mike Antonio making a decent run now, trying to go towards the centre. Doesn't quite work out for him. Again, he's not been good today, in my opinion, Mikel Antonio. There was a couple of notable chances, especially early on, when you feel like a more informed Mikel Antonio would have created something, whereas there was just some awkwardness from him. Nice spreading of the ball around between our midfielders and defence, though. I like as well in those situations, Thomas Souček doesn't really get involved in the build-up as well. I mean, a lot has been made about Thomas Souček and his passing ability, and I understand why, right? But I like the way in those situations when we're passing it around at the back, Paqueta drops a little bit deeper next to Declan Rice, and that's the build-up team. Thomas Souček is allowed to just sort of free roam, find the spaces, Raudum Deuter-esque Thomas Müller, but just being able to find the spaces and not worrying with that sort of build-up play. Let that to the people who are good at passing and just finding nuanced spaces to annoy him. Bit of nice movement. Ben Johnson trying to get down the right-hand side there, skips over one of the tackles. The ball comes in, eventually deflects straight off. It's going to be a throw-in to Brentford. Not very dynamic. Our fullbacks are very bad. like not today. Emerson's not really doing anything, and Ben Johnson's not been he's having a fine game. It's not the most exciting game you've ever seen in your life. But I'll be honest with you. We really need better fullbacks because it's just not really much going on down there. No chance of us scoring from open play. Just pray we get a corner. Hope Dawson gets on the end of it. I mean, yes, it's gonna be a free kick to Brentford in the right corner quadrant, right by the flag against Lucas Paqueta. Yeah, basically, yeah. I think if we had Skamaka up front, maybe be different. But to be honest with you, yeah, just a matter of time before the Pac-Man starts to find real form. And as Stu just said here as well, Paqueta's looking more and more comfortable on the ball in these last couple of games. I'm starting to enjoy him. I think, well, I've enjoyed him for many years, but specifically in a West Ham shirt, I think there's something happening. I think the space is, I think he's starting to grow into it, which I'm quite into. It's going to be a free kick on the right-hand side. Basically just a slightly back corner. Whipped in with the left foot towards goal. Bloody hell. Headed away relatively comfortably. It's going to be a throw into Brentford, but there's a moment there. It was slightly scary. I very should have. I just picked two things that I was very confident in. I just went, this was my logic, right? This was my logic. What do I understand? I understand shots on target. Who's the most likely to get a shot on target for Brentford? Vissa. Who's the most likely to get a shot on target for West Ham? Dawson. Done. Next question. Paqueta again and Rice looking okay. Everyone else is either snoozing or showing little ambition. Oh, Fabianski. I think Fabianski's having an okay game. He's not really being challenged that much, to be fair, but I think he's having an okay game. Johnson's been all right. Nothing special for me. He's been okay. Dawson and Bonner existing again, doing okay, I guess, whatever. Emerson barely exists on the football pitch. Rice, I think, is looking... positioning, I think he's doing fine. Nothing spectacular, but a happy, steady performance from him, which I'm happy about. Souček, I think, is sort of anonymous, but that's kind of the thing, is he's anonymous until he scores. Paqueta, I think, is playing well. Bowen, I think, has looked dangerous-ish when he's had the ball, although we've sort of struggled to find him in the last half an hour. And then Antonio, I think, has been bad. So, that's where I'm at with us. I've ran through the entire team there. You're welcome. Don't know why I did. It just sort of started happening and I didn't stop. So, it just is the way it is. But I suspect it's looking like it's going to be 0-0 with a minute plus stoppage time to play. It looks like it's going to be 0-0. Why didn't Moyes play the kids? I think it's just a case of wanting to... Oh, come on. I'm fine with it. If it happens, I'm fine with it. I think it's just a case of trying to build up momentum with the players he wants to play with. That's a nice idea to find don't know who it was Jared Bowen, I think. It was a nice idea to try and just lay him down the side by Paqueta. Try to put the ball into the box. We win a corner. We'll take that. Dave, don't tempt him. Don't tempt him, Dave. Don't tempt him. It's gonna be a corner on the left hand side for West Ham. Souček's in there. Antonio's by the spot. Emerson's gonna be the one to take it. Is Emerson good at corners? I can't remember. Let's see what he does with it. The evidence would suggest no. That was very front man. Although that's where Souček was. That was very first man. Not useful. Not useful at all. Have we actually made a chance? We have, but it's not been the most thrilling of things you've ever seen, Obsidian. I can't lie to yourself. I can't lie to you there, but you know. Wrexham being Coventry. We'll take that. I'm happy with that. Do you think we need to make an early sub? Maybe, but I don't know who I'd take off. Honestly, I'd maybe just go for the 4-3-3. The problem is defensively we've been pretty good. That's the problem. Is defensively we've been all right. So I would be we've not been great, but we've been all right. And there is the halftime whistle. It ends 0-0. First half 0-0. The thing is defensively we've been okay. I'm not too concerned about that. So, like an early sub in that sense, I wouldn't mind us going 4-3-3, for example. Say taking off Ogbonna, I would guess, and Ogbonna or Dawson, and putting, I don't know, Fornals on, something like that. You know, Fornals, Ben Rama, putting one of those two on, sort of changing to that traditional 4-3-3 shape. Ben Rama would be good, really trying to do something. You could make an argument Antonio coming off, but with Bama coming on is not going to be a massive change, although it'd be a nice opportunity for him, but that's not going to happen. So I don't know. Could we use a halftime sub? I wouldn't be against it. I'll be honest with you. I would not be against it in any way, shape or form, but I don't know what we could do with it, you know? That's not correct. I don't know what we could do with it. I mean, I'd be interested to see what Geo says when he turns up in a second, but yeah, I don't know. I take Antonio off, says Steven. You know, that's what you're looking at, really, when you're thinking about it. Geo, how are you feeling about the game?
Mate, I am bored.
It's
rubbish. That game of football is rubbish. It's got pre-season vibes all over it. Brentford are trying to lose, and we're still not good enough to beat them.
I'm halfway there to my bet, though. I mean, Vis has got a shot on target almost instantaneously, so that's a grand old time. What a time to be alive. I'm living on the edge in the most boring way possible. I think it's again, opening stages, I was sort of, I wouldn't say thrilled by it, but I was like, okay, this is something to build off of. And then, as per usual, after that 15-20 minute burst, and Brentford sort of grow into the game, as all of our opposition do after that, and we just sort of, that thing activates in David Moyes' team where we go, right, we have to defend now, and we just sort of struggled to do anything. I don't know. The thing is I think I'm taking it, even though it's dull. I'm taking it because I'm so used to dangerously, scarily bad that a dull situation, I'm sort of like, okay, fine, but there needs to be something. There needs to be something changed.
It's just poor. It's poor, Charlie. The tactics are poor. We're playing wing back formation with no wing back players. The tempo is poor. If your first team players are gonna be that laid back and not really giving arse, fine. I get it. I like it, but I get it to some extent. But at least put a couple of youngsters in there to inject a bit of energy and enthusiasm, or put a couple of players like Flynn Downs in there who have got something to prove, just put a bit of fight into the team. I mean, against Leeds, they were running through brick walls for each other. Bloody hell. Today, I've seen a brick wall move faster than Ogbonna. It's boring. It's really, really boring. Now, if the game's an inconvenient, and we're not going to take it that serious, don't play the likes of Declan Rice then. What's the point? You know, do something different. We've put out our what is possibly David Moyes' first choice 11 with the personnel available to him. But yet we're playing It's so frustrating. This game, in a weird way, was a really good opportunity for Moyes just to try something a bit different, try some players, whatever. But he's actually put out the team that if we were to play Wolves today, it's probably the 11 he'd pick. Bloody hell, it's bad. It's just incredibly boring. Honestly, Brentford haven't been great themselves, but they've been a bit better than us. And, we've got one or two players having good games, but there's just 3 or 4 of them just playing terrible. It's not enjoyable to watch at all, honestly. It's just, there's just nothing. There's nothing.
Who would you pick out, just very quickly before I go, just because I'm interested to see if you agree with me. Who would you pick out as the worst people?
The worst? Ben Johnson and Mikel Antonio.
Okay, yeah.
And Thomas Souček's just pointless playing in this game because Souček's there for a little bit of battling and that. There's no battle going on. Neither team are putting in tackles. We're just letting... So you pass it around, and when you lose it, we'll pass it around, and we'll lose it. There's almost like there's gentleman's agreement, no injuries. Well, okay, I get it. But then you don't really need Souček in the team. Then he's there to do the defensive stuff, but yet there's no defensive stuff to be done. Honestly, I would be doing 3 subs at half-time. I'd be having Johnson off the pitch. I'd probably be taking Souček off, and I'd be taking Mikel Antonio off. Antonio has actually tickled me. It's got to the point I feel really bad because I'm almost laughing at how poor some of his play is. He rolled Wissa fantastically, then ran into somebody and lost the ball. And I thought, how have you just done that really good bit of skill followed by that? Then I just watched Thomas Souček attempt to play in Lucas Paqueta, which was offensive to the eyes. I've seen Bonner turning like a bus. There's just honestly, Charlie, I've not enjoyed that first time. I actually thought that this would be quite good because there's not that much pressure. I was looking forward to it, and I found myself really annoyed actually at halftime. I think it's because of how Brentford are playing. I think if we can win this, if we actually want to, we could possibly win this. I'm just not really feeling the desire, and I think if they can't be arsed, then why are we arsed?
I think it's fair. I'll be back in a minute. Good luck. Enjoy yourself, everyone. Be back soon.
Cheers. Thank you very much. Broveco said I'm such a whinger. I am whinging. Correct. Tell me something positive about that happening, please. Come back. If you don't enjoy the videos, then unsubscribe. It's not a problem. Ruba says Paqueta does a real bit of class skill take on the player and gives them one of the world's worst forward passes I've seen. Same him and West Ham up. This sums him and West Ham up. Alan says, not bad, but there doesn't seem to be any sort of plan. A mismatch of players. Some are technical while most aren't. Some players don't fit the system, and they're all waiting for somebody to do something. Chris says he thinks Emerson's been worse than Johnson. Thing is, I feel a bit sorry for Johnson. He's actually okay until he has to deliver the cross, and then that's where he's struggling. He's never been particularly great at that aspect of it. So maybe I would leave Johnson on actually and just play him as an actual fullback rather than a wing back. So maybe I was a bit harsh on him. I just feel like he's slowed us down or wasted a lot of opportunities to cross the ball in over on that side. The one thing I will say about Emerson, what tickled me, and Greg's not too keen on him. Steve thinks Antonio looked a little bit funny. Ryan's been really bored. You're all whingers. Brawl Records is going to be fuming with all of you. Well, he said it's positive so far. But Brawl Records is going to be annoyed with everybody. What I was going to say with Emerson, what was funny was Paqueta held off 2 players. He held off a Brentford player. I can't remember who it was. He comes over, small physical contact, shields the ball, moves away. Another Brentford player comes over, small physical contact, shields the ball, moves away. He gave it to Emerson. His first touch just was so bad. Just went straight to the Brentford player. You're just like, oh, bloody hell. Now, Paqueta's not been faultless. At one point, flicked over the Brentford player's head, started running with it. We thought, here we go. And he just tried this ridiculously ambitious pass to Antonio. It was just a bit of a waste of an opportunity. But it tickled me. It tickled me. Stephen says the positive is they didn't score from a long throw in. No, I do have PTSD every time they go to take a long throw in. And I had to chuckle when they switched it up. The last long throw they didn't throw it long. He played it short, got it back and crossed it. And I thought, bloody hell. They're almost like poking fun at us with the long throws. Now, you ready? You ready? Hey, short throw, got you. Anyway, let's see what we're all saying. Jamie said it's rubbish. James said, "Why? Since when's the back five ever work? We don't have wing backs to stop playing wing backs." Oxby says, "Can't handle watching second half." Bro says, "We have a shot winning the game in the second half. Let's be more pro." I agree with you. That's why I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed because we aren't playing better. How would we be playing better? We could potentially win this game going by what Brentford have offered up so far. Chris, I'm not even sure I'm watching football. It's like watching Pong on the Atari. I'm bored. John says, "Boys has lost." He agrees that Antonio seems to fall on the floor hoping to get a foul. It's a bit embarrassing. Hammer Ollie says Antonio needs to come off. Mancunian says Bowen needs to be back on the right. Do you know something? I think this is a really good comment, actually. I completely agree with this one. I think Bowen has been really good in the last 3 games, and he's got a bit missing tonight, actually. He's just the middle of the pitch. He's congested out. A couple of times he's drifted over to the right a little bit to try and get involved, but Joshua said, "I don't know why Moyes doesn't play Kerr in this system and let him play him in a system that suits him." I have to agree with that. You know, at PSG in Germany, they play with wing backs, and Kerr can play either wing back or right centre back. Maybe put him in his best position rather than left back in the last game. So I agree with that. I think that's a fair comment. Oxby's fair here. He would like to see Creswell come on. Malik says a lack of movement. I don't think there's a plan, actually. It's a hard watch. Elan says, "What point do we stop blaming manager, start blaming the board for allowing this to continue?" We've seen the same thing now. To be fair, I think a lot of people are doing that, Elan, in all honesty. I think just going by what I see people comment on videos and stuff, I think a lot of people are frustrated at David Moyes and still are, but I think there's a lot of people frustrated with the board for allowing David Moyes to continue. So I think there's already a lot of people doing what you're suggesting. Personally, that's how I see it. Christian said, "I understand there's die-hard fans of Antonio, but don't think they realise he's not the same player as 2 years ago." Tim says, "I think Moyes is taking this seriously and the players are not responding. This is concerning as ever." Well, see, literally the last game, the players were giving everything at Leeds. The tackles were flying in, the work rate was there, the effort was there. Tonight, that's not really there. I don't believe that the players have just decided to down tools. I think that's got to be a message from the management. But if it is this, Tim, if you are right here, well, let's see something from the manager then at halftime. Let's see substitutions, which said, "I'm not having this. This isn't good enough. You're not playing good enough. The tempo's not enough. Done. Let's go." Jeff said he's watching some random stream. Traitor. I don't understand how West Ham are planning to score. I don't know if Moyes does either, to be honest with you. Anyway, shall we just skip on? Right, let's see what you're all saying here. Scott says, "No desire, no ambition, no tactics, no chance." Mick Kesey says, "We had a shot." We've had a couple. Jared Bowen had one from distance. Paqueta had a volley, which flew over. Breezy said, "We're signing Paqueta for added creativity, yet we never play him with our other creative players." I would like to see Ben Rama on at half-time. I know he's not the most consistent, and he's not like Messi or anything, and there's this thing that when you sort of say you want to see Ben Rama, people say he's not that good. Nobody's saying he is, but what he does do gives you, he just adds a little bit of hope. He just adds a little bit of something in the final third, which is more than what we've got tonight. I would like to see Ben Rama come on immediately, get Bowen over to the right, give Antonio a shot with those two. I think he's been horrendous so far, but just Ben Rama, Antonio, Bowen, give him 10 minutes and then we bam out. Antonio don't improve. Adam says tactics are wrong, passing's awful, no attacking threat whatsoever. I would use all 5 subs. Get Emerson, Ogbonna, Antonio, and Souček off.
Hello. Bold.
I don't blame him. Do you know what I mean? I think
no, but
Broad doesn't agree with me again. He just thinks that we're showing a lot of commitment in this game.
I wouldn't say we're personally.
Oh, we're not uncommitted. But
I'm not sure. I don't think we're not showing commitment. I just think we're not really doing much.
There's that aggression that we saw against Leeds ain't there. I'm not having it. There's nothing. There's no fight or anything about us. And like I said, it's a cup game. It's difficult to. I understand why Moyes might want to lower the tempo for this one to avoid increasing the risk of injuries, etc. But then you're good to do that. Like I said, use your squad a bit more. Put Flynn Downs in that can actually add that little bit of aggression that you might want Rice to just hold back on a bit. We can still win this. We can still win this game. It's a bit like the Leeds thing. We've got to have time.
You sound very defeated. You sound very, very defeated. I know it's kind of difficult not to be.
It's because I'm annoyed, Charlie. We were like, it was just so boring in the first. Do you know something? We had a pop at them and we were 1-0 down. Fine, Brentford are a good team, but we're not even doing that. I'm not asking for gung ho football. I'm just asking for a little bit of a game plan. Have you noticed anything in open play which said, "Oh, that's new, that's interesting, that might work"? There's nothing. From memory, we've had 2 shots. Antonio might have had a couple that hit the first man, but Bowen and Paqueta are both from 20 yards, and that's about it. There's been no chances created. There's no 1-2s happening over the pitch or anything. There's very little to be excited about. We've got Ben Johnson is our most probably lost possession the most in terms of attacks because he's trying to cross it. He's never been great at crossing it. It's nothing new. It's not like he's usually Trent Alexander-Arnold. He's having an off day. He's usually pretty unreliable in the final third, and lo and behold, he's unreliable again today, and he's up against Godos at left wing back. I mean, a really good wing back would be ripping into him, but he's not. He's, I feel like when you were away, I said I feel a bit bad for maybe digging out John Snatcher. Maybe I would leave him on and just play him full back where he's a bit more effective. But this formation's not working. The tactics aren't working. They're not. Brentford aren't winning, but we've created nothing in that first half. It's difficult to sit here, but if he wants to win this in second half, he can do. If he makes the right changes and we get out of second gear, we can go on and win it. It's just a case of, do we want to?
Well, the teams are coming back out. I can't see any changes yet, but we'll see how it goes. I can't see too many players. So I'll let you get off, Geo, so you can...
No, please, can I stay here? I don't want to go watch it.
You can hang around if you want and just have a conversation about cheese. I'll just tell you if something happens. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I'll just clock in every 5 minutes and have a little glance at 25 yards short or something. It's just... Honestly, it's just... I was just hoping for a bit of excitement tonight, and there's just none of it. So hopefully the second half's an improvement. It can't be much worse. And I'll be back at full time to give my review, which should be exciting, shouldn't it? I'm sure people look forward to that. Anyway, right. Cheers, Charlie.
Try and enjoy the second half, too. The teams have kicked off, and it is Brentford 0, West Ham United 0 at the G-Tech Stadium. No changes, as I can see. Yet I might be able to spot a couple as the game goes on, but so far, let me know if I'm wrong. I can't see any major changes. They're running through the teams at the moment across the bottom of my screen, so I'll let you know if I see any. But yeah, I mean, to add on what Gio says, I think the 5-3-2 is a lost cause. I don't think 5-3-2 is that exciting a formation, especially with the wing backs. If we had more exciting wing backs, I think it would be a different position. Yeah, we haven't made any changes at half time. I think if we had Ed was here earlier. He said I was doing well earlier. I told him to keep me honest and keep me true. So Ed, if you're still around, hello, mate. But yeah, no, I think you look at it in a situation, and I think the 5-3-2 is just, that's a good ball over the top to Antonio, who manages to stumble over himself and then lose possession beautifully, and then he somehow wins it back because Brentford just decide to not really tackle him that much. It was awful from Antonio. He's just not very good. There's just not much. From a 5-3-2 standpoint, there's just not much. I think that's something we just have to give up the ghost on. I think if you're playing a 5-2-3, there's something more. But with the way David Moyes plays football, with 3 in midfield, it's just too defensive with 5 at the back. It's not scary enough. There's a grid run down the left-hand side, easy into the hands of Fabianski. We'll take that. We will take that. Yeah, it just, listen, if the baby bells are there, the baby bells are there. Although maybe not 2 at once. That was a mistake. It just feels... Do you know what I mean? Which, under David Moyes, what happens is when they press you a little bit, everyone reverts into defensive formation. And if you have 3 in midfield in the centre, like we do have with Souček, Rice and Paqueta, then frankly, what that means is they get really, really deep. And Bowen is naturally going to come back and track back anyway, and then that leaves Mikel Antonio, who's also coming back. that is not good enough. If you are going to play with 5, you just need better wing backs, and you just don't have them. But B, the other thing is probably playing a 5-2-3. Well, that's not a bad ball over the top there to the left hand side. I think that's Paquetá whips it in towards Thomas Souček, who hits it. Oh, just dragged wide. That's such a good opportunity. I don't know if it was Souček or Bowen. It might have been Bowen actually. He's the one who's clapping. That was so good. Was it? I think it was Paquetá. The ball gets played over the top, I think by Emerson, into the path of him. And he just dinks it over the top. So it's a really nice ball in. And it is Thomas Souček just wide. It was Emerson who plays the ball in. It's a nice ball. And it's just behind Souček. He has to adjust himself. He has to pull it back from behind. Just wide. Just wide. That was close. But yeah, I think you look at that situation and a 5-3-2 just doesn't leave you with enough creativity. Doesn't leave you with enough... just doesn't leave you with enough going forward. Nice flick around the back there, looking for Wisa, who's through, pulls it back across. Good header away, I think, by Agerd there. Does well. There's going to be an offside flag anyway in the build-up for Brentford, but that was nicely defended. I would be tempted to take off one of the centre backs. I think that would, if we're being honest, I think that would maybe leave us a little bit too open. I think defensively we've been okay, so that makes it feel like taking a defender off would potentially be a poor idea. However, I can't act like I wouldn't be tempted to change just straight to the 4-3-3 and trying that personally. Still, I don't know. What's Harewood doing these days? He runs a car company. He was on the channel a couple of years ago. He runs like an executive car company type thing. Seems to be doing very well. At least it was last time I checked pre-pandemic. Don't know what's going on now. No clue. But that's what he was doing last time I saw. If you're new around here, make sure to subscribe. We were the only West Ham channel last season to do a watch-along every single match day without fail. We were here doing a watch-along. And then, of course, we've only missed 2 since we started. So if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell notification button so you don't miss out on any future streams and videos, because we have tons of other stuff. Bless me. We have tons of other stuff going on the channel. Tons of other videos all of the time. One a day, usually. One a day on our second channel and also on the Patreon, usually, as well. So we work very, very hard. So make sure to hit that bell notification button so you don't miss out on any future videos, as well as liking the video. We've flown past 300. I saw that's not a bad ball in from Brentford. Tried to head it away. There's a hook towards goal. Thankfully, Ogbonna manages to stop it, and then it's straight into the hands of Fabianski, and an offside flag anyway. But that wasn't a bad attempt from Thank you very much, Emily. From Brentford. It's played down the right-hand side. It's whipped in towards, I'm not sure who that is. Wisa, maybe Damsgaard, who just sort of tries to hook it in. It's a good tackle from Ogbonna. And an offside flag gets called anyway. But I noticed we flew past 300 at half-time. We're at 359 now, which is a big, big number. So 400, like I said, is potentially on the cards before full-time. There are over 600 of you right now, so potentially 400. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I would quite like to see a 4-3-3 at this point. I think that would give us a little bit more going forward. It leaves us a little bit more exposed to the back, but realistically, whatever. Why not just go for it? Why not just see what you can do? Because if this is a game to build on, which it is, playing the people you're playing and not gunning for, not playing youth players, staying true with the first team, first 11 type people. If that's what you're doing in this game and trying to build up a bit of momentum, a win is going to be infinitely better than a draw in an FA Cup tie away to a second string Brentford. So I think you go for it. Take off a centre back, have a little go. Change to the 4-3-3, which worked so well against Leeds, or worked better than we expected against Leeds. Worked against Leeds. Not worked so well. That's maybe an exaggeration, but I thought was good. Because defensively, that's going to be as much of a problem anyway. You know? And maybe he would do that if it wasn't Brentford, who he's usually terrified of. Maybe he would do that. Ball's going to get played in from Emerson from the free kick wide. That's a really nice ball over top. I don't know who that was at the far post, but couldn't quite get a foot to it. Ogbonna can't quite keep it and is going to be forced back. There was a really nice cross in. I say really nice. It looked like it was a bit overhit and it comes all the way over to the far side. I think that's Craig Dawson. He spins off the man, Yeah, it's Craig Dawson tries to stretch out his foot, can't quite get a touch. If he had that on site, if he'd had on target, I'd be in. I'd be in, mate. 50 quid. Light work. Easy. But, you know. Please can any millionaires in the live chat pay on Suchek so I never would see him playing Clarenburg again. Harsh, James. Not unfair, but harsh. All ball comes in, just behind Mikel Antonio. To Rice. Oh my God, he laid it off and he didn't shoot. To someone who can. Potential handball against Emerson. Sorry, no, for Emerson. It's going to be a corner instead. We'll find that. We'll take a corner. We'll take a corner. Get those big men back forward. Declan Rice is coming over to take it for some god. Why? Why is the question I would like to ask. I mean, at least he can't shoot. At least he can't shoot. He's moving microphones. At least he can't shoot. Declan Rice taking a corner looks and feels a bit wrong, but we're here. Suchek's at the front post, depressingly, but he is. Antonio's trying to get in sort of around the goalkeeper. Him and Wissa sort of battling a little bit. Bowen's on top of Trufsco's. We've got two people on the goalkeeper just for maximum annoyance. Declan Rice is going to be the one to take the corner. All the other big boys are up there. Aged, Ogbonna, it's whipped in towards him. Can't quite get his head on it. Oh, Brentford's goalkeeper struggling a bit, and then the header comes down. That's going to be another corner. West Ham will take that off Ben Mee. We'll be taking that. Yeah, this was very weird and didn't feel correct in any way, shape or form. Muller corner Rice, that's nice. I think there might have been a foul. I think it might actually be a Brentford goal, free kick. Strahowski goes down. Strahowska, however you say is the goalkeeper's name, he goes down. It's Jared Bowen, who sort of puts his arm up to defend him. It's Strakoshka goes down as if he was hit in the face, which is the contact it happened, but you know, whatever. Yeah, I'm not sure why we don't play Areola at all. I mean, today he's injured. Emily, he apparently took a knock. I didn't know until the teams come out, so I don't know what's going on there. But I don't know why we don't play him in general. Personally, I like Fabianski. I do, but it feels a bit odd that we don't play him more often, to be honest. But who knows? Brentford passing it around. Again, this is where a 4-3-3 would be more useful. You could have more people to activate the press in this situation. We're not doing bad, to be fair. Although that pass through the middle was a little bit concerning. But we forced Brentford straight to go backwards again. So we're not doing badly with the press. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. It's not bad. Declan Rice just a little bit in no man's land again, although he comes back and manages to tick the ball away. It's just stuck a little bit in no man's land in the build-up to that, but he does well. Antonio does well to control it, lays it back down to Paqueta. That's a nice idea to try and spread it across to Jared Bowen. He manages to get their first touch. We couldn't get a control of the first touch. Tries to hook it back towards Johnson. Can't quite manage it. Now Brentford, this is a really good opportunity to attack. They've not got the numbers on their side. There's so many of us back. We are playing so defensive. They're trying to find a space. Brentford and a little bit overplayed down the right hand side. Quite make it work. I'll be honest with you. That was a really nice opportunity, but it was a great example of how defensively we are playing. It was a great opportunity to counter attack. We've just gone up the other end trying to score. Brentford nick the ball away and can come flying forward. They feel like they have space in front of them. But there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 West Ham players at least in front of them. That's how deep we are. That Brentford on a counter-attack, which feels like it should be a good, maybe 4-on-4 situation. We had 7 people back. It's going to be a very exciting time for us all, Luke. It's going to be a very exciting time for us all. Touch commentators on my streams. Listen. They're chilled out, guys. I've been to Amsterdam once. It was a very calm experience. You know? Also, equally, I'd probably be fed up if I had to commentate this match. I've just realised what I'm doing. I just hit me like a ton of bricks. Well, that's not bad. Ball in. Antonio gets his head to it. It's nowhere near being accurate to anything, and we don't have to worry about it. It was under a lot of pressure, to be fair. I'm not blaming him for that, but ball got fired in, I think, from Aged early, and he just under pressure. Antonio. It would have been a spectacular header to have scored from there. Cut to Ben Rama warming up. Still, listen. I'm always down for puns. I don't know what the subject matter is today, We haven't got Ed or Cheese to inspire us. But I'm just, you know, I'm like, you saw how happy I was last time. We're just doing puns about cheese. That's all we needed. It's my favourite stream we've done all year. I can't lie about it. Does this have to go to extra time or is replay if level? I believe, Louisa, although someone correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it goes straight to a replay. But again, do correct me if I'm wrong, everyone, because I'm not entirely certain. But I believe if we draw here, it goes to a replay. But I can never remember with the cups which ones are which. I can never remember which ones are which. Have we had a shot on target yet? I don't believe so, Stevie. I don't believe so. Well, that's a bit dangerous. That's a bit dangerous letting Brentford in there. Thankfully, Fabianski finds again, but that was dangerous. Let's have a look. I can pull up the stats. Give me a second. Hope nothing happens while I do this. Let's have a look. 5 shots each. No shots on target for West Ham. No shots on target. To be fair, only one for them. That's the one that the bet came in from. But no shots on target, no. Walkide. Brentford trying to attack in the meantime down the right-hand side. They got into an area for a second before being forced back again. Defensively, not been bad. That's a good pass, though, around the back, and it's good defending from Emerson. Just coming across and blocking it. He's nothing if not consistent, Paul. Nothing if not consistent. Mubama is on the bench. I'll bring the bench up, actually. Mubama is on the bench, so he could come on. People in the chat saying it goes to replay. Okay, good. Good. I was correct for the first time in my life. It's going to be a corner to Brentford, wide on the right-hand side. Comes in, floated into really nowhere, headed away, and then headed in a big hook away. Not a single West Ham player even remotely close to their half. I hate when Moyes does that so much. Just leave someone up there. He brings Antonio back as well, and I get it. I understand, but it's just so negative, man. I get it. I do. I understand why he does it. It's just like, in those situations where it gets hooked away and there is a single West Ham player outside of our area, let alone in their half to capitalise on a counter-attack, it's just pointless. It's just pointless. Good ball down the left-hand side for Brentford, although still can't work their way back. Ogbonna does really well to manhandle that. That's not a bad ball in, but thankfully Emerson's there. Declan Rice mugged off in the middle of the park, but thankfully Paqueta covers a little bit, and we just managed to sort of bundle our way out. Brentford are all over us right now. They pick up the ball yet again. I don't know who that was, by the way. I think it was Damsgaard who managed to flick the ball over Declan Rice's head and collect it on the other side. But Brentford are all over us right now. It's a really good possession from Brentford's perspective. They're going to want to make it count because they've not had a huge amount of these. They've probably, I would say, been the better team in the game overall, but they've not had super amounts of these opportunities, and they've not really been able to get in and around the box that many. I mean, like I said, we might not have had a shot on target, but they've only had one. Played in, headed away from again. Paqueta tried to lay it off to Antonio, but just doesn't quite work out. Pinged the big crossfield dive from Brentford, goes very badly, and it's going to be a goal kick to us. We'll take that. Brentford want to make opportunities like that count because they've not had a huge amount of them. It's not... how are we doing? Good to see you, Shadow, by the way. I'm fine, thank you. I smashed my knee earlier and it was bleeding, but now I'm good. First 15-20, I thought we were okay. I thought we were finding a little bit of a groove. It felt like something that was nice to build off of. You know, it felt like a situation we could maybe build something from and find ourselves. But as the game has gone on, unfortunately, it just feels like there's nothing again. Not exactly a not an abject awful performance, not a bad, and honestly not that bad of a performance. Some notable exceptions. I think Mikel Antonio is having an awful game, but like not compared to what we have seen of recent weeks and in recent months, not abjectly awful, not abjectly bad, just crap, dull, Nothing really happening. We need to change something to go for this game to try, if we're going to win this game without it being from a set piece. Like now we've just won a free kick about 35 yards from goal. Declan Rice is again standing over it for some god-awful reason. We're going to try and cross the ball in. Unless it comes from somewhere like this, we're not scoring from open play. That's for certain. So hope Dawson gets a shot on target, because then I'll be in the money. Declan Rice does take it in. It's as bad a free kick as I would expect being taken by Declan Rice. And West Ham recollect possession of the ball in the centre circle. Nice idea from Ben Johnson to try and clip it back forward towards Jared Byrne around. Quite work out. Miscommunication between Rice and Paqueta. Paqueta does well to keep it on. Free kick to West Ham is one. We'll take that. A little bit of miscommunication there between Rice and Paqueta, but Paqueta manages just to keep it on, flicks it in, and he's taken out. He's still down. I think he will get back up. It doesn't seem to be bad, but it's an interesting question, Philip, and not one I can answer, but it is an interesting question. 2 pints of lager and a Paqueta of crisps. It's solid. You know. A luscious cheesy chicken don. Ooh. Again, you're tempting me. Major. I can't lie. That's something that would interest me highly right now. I don't know what I'm having for dinner. I never thought about that. I was thinking bangers and mash, but I can't act like the idea of a kebab isn't very intriguing to me right now. It's going to be a free kick from Paqueta right on the touchline. It looks like it's going to be Declan Rice to take it again. Him and Jared Bowen are standing over it. This time, Declan Rice leaves it and Jared Bowen puts in a ball. That's actually dangerous and floated into a good area, but Strakoshka collects it relatively easily. But it was better than Rice's. Please just... It's the equivalent of Kane taking free kick. Rice is just not a free kick taker or a corner taker, and I've got no idea why we would even begin to do that. It's stupid. It's so stupid. But again, we're West Ham. Brentford inside the box trying to make it happen, but we were just stood still, and they were stood still, and there was an impasse there. The immovable object meets the unstoppable force as both teams stood still. Deflects off the referee there. Waves play on. Brentford still have possession of the ball. But again, defensively, we've just been all right. That's the thing here. We've just been all right defensively. Hook towards the area over the top. Do you know what the worst thing would be here? Potentially a draw. Because it would just be more games that we don't need. And it looks a little bit like it's going to... Well, it's darting towards that. Brentford look like they're going to make a double substitution. Skamaka, I think, was injured, yes. He's not on the team. He was not on the team sheet at all. Not in the squad at all, so I believe he is. Brentford look like they're going to make a double substitution. I believe, looking at it, that is... I think that's Yanel and Rico Henry, maybe? I'm not sure. We'll have to have a look as it comes in, but I believe it is. This is good intel. The problem... I wouldn't have chili sauce because I'm a chicken. Also have stomach problems, but also just because I'm scared. But this is good intel. Because I do find my way there sometimes for different work reasons. So that could be something. That could be something. Could be something. Because defensively it's happening. Moyes is going to be happy. It's a stressful thing to say. Right? James is saying, why aren't they making a change? Why are they making a change before us? Go for it. It's a stressful and depressing thing to say. But I think Moyes would be relatively happy with this. Let's be real about it. I think that's true. I think he would look at this and think defensively we're really comfortable in this game. They're not looking particularly dangerous against us. We're defending well. At that point, the game plan has been and will always be to try and nick a goal from a set piece usually. And so from that perspective, this is going exactly as planned. Like, it's not... It's not exciting by any stretch of imagination, but it is that lost out. I think that was Souček who lost it out, and now Brentford could come forward, or the ball gets played overhead on the left-hand side. Wiesa tries to cut his way in, deflects about a bit. It's awkward from Brentford. The chance sort of dies down there. They play it out to the right-hand side, try to hook it in. They do get a header to it. Oh, it was a bit spicy with Fabianski there, who goes down, but it is Damsgaard can't get there, and it's thankfully a goal kick. Fabianski's still down. He's having a shouting match with someone from the floor. It was a nice dig back across from Brentford and a header from Damsgaard just sort of out of nowhere. It's sort of nowhere close to the goal, thankfully. But yeah. Gerd and Fabianski just having a conversation with the ref. Like I said, I think depressingly that's the answer. There is beef going on, by the way. I think between Godos and someone else. I'm not sure who. There just seems to have cut back to some beef. I was looking at the referee and Fabianski and having a conversation, but there was a little bit of scraps, a little bit of afters going on properly. First call in a while for a bell. There's nobody called for a bell yet. There was one in the first half, but apart from that, that's been it. Ogbona's now having a frank discussion with the ref. But yeah, I think that's why they're going. Because Brentford won't be happy with this. Mize, I think, probably would be. Yeah, it's gonna be Brentford are gonna make their double subs. De Silva is gonna be the first one to come off. I think their new player Shade is gonna come on. See a second bell call by Philip, but Marcus ain't saved the bells. So Janelt is going to come on for Jay De Silva. Ben Rama is also coming on. Interestingly, it is happening. Ben Rama is coming on, and Keane Lewis Potter, who, I'll be honest with you, whatever. In terms of West Ham being linked with him, I'm looking at him and I've not been super impressed by watching him. And on is coming on Shade, their new signing. Ben Rama is about to come on though. We have had enough calls for bells. I will put the poll up in a second. Syed Ben Rama comes on for Thomas Souček. So we have gone 5-2. We have gone 5-2-3. Souček has come off. On in his place is Syed Ben Rama. He's gone a little bit for it, hasn't he? Anyway, I'll put the poll up. We have had enough calls for bells. So there we go. Bell, yes or no. Poll is up in the chat now. It should be appearing for you in just a few moments. And I'll give you until 71. You have just over a minute and a half to get your votes in. Whether you think Bell should be... Is it worth belling in this game? Do we need a bell? Should we be saving the bells, as someone said? You know, these are interesting things. Ben Rama has just come on. We have Souček is off. Ben Rama is on. We've now got 3 up front, as opposed to the 2 we were doing before. Ben Rama instantly trying to get on there, charging the ball down. Good pressure from him and Bowen, and it's an awkward clearance from Strachowska. Strack. I'm just going to call him Strack. It makes life easier. Declan Rice picks up the ball. That's a nice ball out wide to Ben Johnson, trying to dribble his way in. Can't quite find any space. Lays it back to Paqueta instead. A piece of one of the worst things I've ever seen Rice do. Just literally passes the ball to Wisa under no pressure. It was so stupid, and Paqueta comes back and has forced a foul on him. Just awful from Declan Rice. See, you were saying no need for Bell in a cup game. Is that Angelica Bell? I wish it was. Well, gee, she used to present all the children's show when I was a kid. Shout out Angelica Bell, you know? Shout out. What was that kids' consumer show called? They used to do like segments on like how much a video game console costs. Can't remember what it was called. Exchange? But with no E, like exchange? Something like that? I don't remember. The point is, shout out Angelica Bell. Something I need to remember to Google later. Played into the box from Brentford. Bit awkward. And again, a bit of miscommunication. Fabianski should easily collect that. And Declan Rice comes... I don't... Anyway. 71 minutes. Let's have a look. It's close. I'll be honest with you. It's closer than I thought it would be. But 67% say yes. And 33% say no. She works for Martin Lewis now. Fair play. What a G. But yeah, it's Bell. Bell has happened. I'll go after this corner. It's going to be a corner to Brentford. Whipped in from the left-hand side. It's not a bad one, but headed away relatively easily. Or Paqueta does well to just knock that on. No, it's Ben Rama, sorry, does that well to knock that on. Jared Bowen forced a little bit wide, but it's not bad from him. He's got 2 people marking him. He'd have to do something spectacular from that position, and Brentford very easily just crowd him out. It would have to have done something unbelievable from there to have created anything, and doesn't work out. Brentford now go on a counter-attack. Shade picks up the ball, takes on Dawson, and absolutely blitzes past him. Gets taken down. I think it's going to be a free kick, but I'll be honest with you, you made Dawson look a little bit silly then. All right, I'm going to go grab the bells. I'm going to go grab the bell. I should say it's not 2. Jesus Christ. Not again. Bell acquired. It's going to be a free kick to Brentford. Bell acquired. I just realised I showed the camera and completely missed the camera there, but Bell. Brentford, thankfully, their free kick was about as awful as Declan Rice's, and West Ham easily get it away, although nowhere close to grabbing it on the other side. And they pick up the ball. Oh, it's a nice dink inwards. Thankfully, Fabianski comes and collects that and then throws it out quickly. Nicely done quickly. Unfortunately, it's to Ben Johnson, although we keep the possession of the ball. Shout out Connie Huck as well. Just a big plays. Shout out Connie Huck as well. She was another absolute G. What did she present when I was a kid? Blue Peter. Blue Peter. And now she's I think she's married to Charlie Brooker, isn't she? She wrote some of what's Charlie Brooker's show called? Black Mirror. She wrote some of Black Mirror. Declan Rice going for a shot because of course he is. Why not? He gets another opportunity to dink it across. And we'll take it as a corner. We'll take it as a corner. We'll take that. I'll tell you what, I'll take that. I'm not going to eat the wax, James. Shout out Angelica Bell. Shout out Connie Huck. Any of these other Donnies from back in the day. Shout out. You know what I mean? Here we go. It's corner to West Ham. Yellow card for Craig Dawson at some point, I believe, for the tackle on Shade, where he got absolutely mugged off. Don't get too excited. Declan Rice has come to take the corner. It goes over the top of literally everyone, nowhere close to anyone, and it's going to be a goal kick to Brentford. I don't know why I'm ripping this one, you know? And then put it in like a 4. Let's see if that works. I just bit the inside of my mouth. I'm having a nightmare today. Laid back to Declan Rice. Ben Rama on the left-hand side in the corner quadrant, trying to find a way forward. Rice to Bennett was played in. It wasn't a bad ball. No one knew. Brentford could come away with it here. Big ball over the top looking for Shade again. Tell you what, he doesn't look slow, that kid. I say kid. I don't know how old he is, but... West Ham win the ball and can come away with it relatively calmly. Esther Ranson a bit before my time, but I know the name. Who's Sally? I keep seeing the name Sally James comes up. I don't remember who Sally James is or was. Shout out Neil Buchanan. Shout out Neil Buchanan. Art Attack. Let's go. Let's go. Never. 69. Never. Well, that's not a bad ball. It's a shade. He can't quite get the control in again. Thankfully, he runs it out. Philippa Forrester, Robot Wars. I was at my parents'. I was at my mum's the other day, going through finding comics and stuff, and books that I wanted to read. I don't know why I was lifting this one up. I got this one for Christmas, but stuff like that to read. And I found, I didn't bring it. I should have brought it, but I found when I was a kid, I had a guide to Robot Wars, which had like all of the robots in and their stats and stuff. It was very exciting. Very exciting. Shout out Angela Ripham. Shout out Rachel from S Club 7. Yes, of course. Absolute legendary group for a start. Bangers. Good TV shows. S Club Miami. Stuff like that. Grand old times. You know what I mean? Shout out. But yeah, I don't know who Sally James is. Trying to scroll down to see it. Oh, Tiz was. That's why I never saw Tiz was before me. Fair enough. Okay. Fair enough. Tiz was. Yeah, I didn't see. Tiz was done way before me. Or it was done before me. I don't remember anything to do with it. Oh, but it didn't. Antonio can't get ahead to it. Fair. That makes more sense now why I don't know who Sally James is. Shout out to BN Biscuits. Yes, Lewis. We found our bit today, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to shout out to someone from back in the day or something from your child, just give it a shout out and we can discuss it. BN Biscuits, underrated. You know, the chocolate version of a jammy Dodger. but with a little face on it. Doing, you know, I love a BN biscuit. Big into it. Brentford are getting ready to make another sub, by the way. Big into that. We found the bit for today, ladies and gentlemen, and it's just shouting out, big up Chuck Norris. We're just shouting out things. Shout out Compost Corner. Yes, Stevie B. It's big. Michaela Strachan, of course, from was it called The Really Wild Show? What was it called? Oh, that's a good tackle. Brentford fans are angry with it, but Ben Rama gets it, hits it from range. Oh my god! Sai Ben Rama has just scored an absolute rocket of a goal. Holy hell! Brentford are angry. They should have had a free kick in the build-up. The fans were not. The fans were not happy. But Sai Ben Rama has just scored an absolute screamer. An absolute screamer. Jesus Christ! That is different. You, my love, are different gravy. That was an absolute belter of a shot from Syed Ben Rama. My God. My God. Tackle from Declan Rice. Maybe a foul, maybe not. But Syed Ben Rama picks up the ball. Control takes maybe 2-3 touches. I think the foul's okay. I don't think it's a foul. One touch. Second touch to steady himself, and then hits an absolute rocket. The goalkeeper's I can't lie. The goalkeeper should just do better. But what an absolute banger from Saeed Ben Rama. Brentford 0, West Ham United 1. It was going to take something like that from us to score from open play. They're going to make a whole host, another double substitute. Brentford. It was going to take something like that for us to get a goal in this game from open play and to potentially get a goal at all. Saeed Ben Rama picks up the ball, takes 2 touches to get it out of his feet, and then hits an absolute belter from about 30 yards away. It wobbles in a weird way. Don't get me wrong, it does wobble in a weird way, which maybe puts the goalkeeper off, Strack off. But my God, Saeed Ben Rama on the 79th minute makes it West Ham United 1, Brentford 0. And I'll be honest, that could put us through to the next round because I don't think I look at Brentford and I don't think they've been that scary today. You know, have they been a better team? Yes, they've had the better of the position. They've had the better of better possession, more chances, all of that stuff. But they've not really created a whole bunch, especially from open play. They've not really created a whole bunch. By the way, subs for Brentford, Aya has come on for Damsgaard and Rico Henry has come on. Oh, Damsgaard and Aya have both come off and on their place of Rico Henry and Canos. Bit scary. But yeah, they really should, like, they haven't been that scary, and that could have just saved that one from us. It felt like it, didn't it, Jasper? Shot from range for Brentford. Oh my God, at far side almost managed to get in there. Got us at the back, but can't quite make it work. It did feel like AFK, didn't it, Jasper? Might watch match of the day now. Fair. They get a little bit of space, a little bit central. No one there to pick it up. It's dinks across and the deflection, and it goes out for a Brentford corner from the right-hand side. Our left. Again, I'm not too scared of them in the air. Comparatively, we have a lot of big men in there, but all it takes, Beck or whatever his name is big man in there. Takes us just to switch off. 82nd minute, played in. Thankfully, no one even gets a touch to that. Mikel Antonio tried to, completely missed it, but none of them do either. Wissa picks up the ball on the far side, digs it across. It's not a bad cross. Again, deflects upwards. Shade maybe there, but good save by Fabianski. Just comes and collects it easily. We will take that. Saved by the bell indeed. The combination of talking about Angelica Bell and also eating the bell has done us a good one. Big ball over the top towards Bowen. Doesn't wake out and they instantly have a friend. Oh, Preston North End Jeff, PNE. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you're well. Preston Thurver. Hope you're good. I saw you say hello earlier. I hope you had a good Christmas, my friend. Whatever you did over Christmas and break. I do, Charlie. I do. I think he'll be here until... I said this last night, but I do think... Give me time, James. I'll try and figure out. I think that... Oh, that'd be a banger, wouldn't it? I do think he will. I think he'll be here until at least the end of January. That's a nice ball from Wisser. Pulled back again. Good interception from Declan Rice that time. then decides to charge it away. Just pass it out. Just keep it calm. That's it to Bowen. Now, Bowen, run with it. He finds Declan Rice on the underlap, who plays himself into trouble. There was a really easy pass on. He just didn't take it there. Not easy, but there was a pass on to Paqueta, which he just didn't take. Fair play, Mikel Antonio. That's good defensive work there. He comes charging back, wins it. Ogbonna then plays it out wide to Ben Rama. Antonio's trying to get up alongside him. Ben Rama's got Bowen on the far side. Maybe try and find. He tries to find him. Just, I think the Brentford player might have got ahead to that. It's going to be a corner. All of a sudden, it's weird how if you put more attacking people on any other famous bells to shout out, I don't know. Martin Bell? Is that a bell? Colin Bell? I don't know who either of these bells are, but I'll back it. Let's shout out to the bells. We'll take that. It's going to be a corner from the right-hand side. Get Angelica and the fella from Raven on. Yes! Yes! The ultimate show. Is he on Cameo? That's what I need to know for the wheel. If he's on Cameo, I will pay for a cameo from the guy from Raven for the wheel. Played in, headed away. Far side volley. Oof. Well, it wasn't really a volley. It was more of a half volley. It came to Ben Rama, but it was way over that time. Football's taken to just shouting the word bell, which I respect. Taco Bell. That's another famous bell. Nice. That's where I know the name. Thank you very much, Peter, for correcting me. That's a solid shout. I ate the bell, bro. The bell's good. I ate it, bruv. I ate it and then we scored. Oh, bloody hell, I was close from then. I ate it. It's gone. Shade almost managed to find his way in there. Shout out Albert Square. You know. It's a good opportunity for Brentford. Shade. Can't quite find it. They're forced backwards again. Shout out Albert Square. Maybe the postcode with the most crime in London. Albert Square. You know. The most crime, but also when people want a cup of tea, despite the fact their house is next door, they will go to a cafe. Just Hell's Bells, Metallica, nice. Bellissimo, always a grand old time for us today. That's how it's worked. Big shot from range from Brentford, nowhere close. 5 minutes to go, still 1-0. Bellamy. Shout out Tony Bell again. Don't know who that is, but we'll back it. We'll back it blindly. The bell from Hounslow Travelodge reception. My kind of vibes. Double sub from West Ham. Fornals and Flynn Downs coming on for Paqueta and Mikel Antonio. No strikers. We've got our goal. We know what we need to do now, and that is take off our striker and defend. Fornals coming on for Mikel Antonio, and Flynn Downs coming off as well for someone. Don't know who. Don't know who yet. Sub's going to happen in a sec. You have to keep the tree up now. Paqueta comes off for Downs. He didn't look very happy, Paqueta, when he came off there. I don't know if my girlfriend would be super up for me keeping the tree up. Maybe she would. I don't know. It's quite nice to have up. I don't know. We'll see. Jude Bellingham. Was it AC/DC? Was it Metallica? I don't know now. I'm questioning everything I thought I once knew. Bell bottoms. Can I get them bell bottom jeans? That's not how the song goes, but I'm imagining it is now. Ben Rama tried to take the ball past one. Can't quite make it work. It ends up back at Strack. Big boot up the pitch. Shade loses out to Aged, and a combination of him and Rice there. They both do well to stop that. Jared Bowen has taken up position as the central striker, as it were. Pablo Fornals is wide on this left-hand side. And obviously Ben Rama on the... wide on the left. Fornals wide on the right. You also have Flynn Downs and Declan Rice in a double pivot in midfield, although Pablo Fornals is quite deep there, although I think that's the way it is. Mr. Blobby, for whom the bell tolls, of course, is Metallica. And Hell's Bells is AC/DC. There we go. That's good knowledge. Bel Air, the Fresh Prince. He will slap you if you don't give him a shout. So. Bell Bo Baggins. Not quite accurate, but we back it. Big shout out to Motorhead. You know? Big shout out to Motorhead. Big ups. Big ups. Belgium. Yeah. We'll be taking that. We're taking Belgium. You see, what's his name, by the way? Do you see back with the goalkeeper, Strack? Do you remember what's his name? Roberto Martinez has got the Portugal job now. How does that guy keep doing it? I don't know. If there's ever proof that top managers don't do international football, it's the fact that Roberto Martinez keeps getting massive jobs. Oh, that's a really good opportunity for Brentford. Hit from Shade. I think that's a deflection. It's going to be a corner. Just runs onto it. It rolls across the outside of the outside of the box, and he just sprints onto it and hits it first time. Just a bunch of people there. It deflects off Aged, who's the one who gets the touch. Flynn Downs there, Bonner there. People could have stopped that. It's going to be a corner from the left-hand side. All right, for Brentford. Just over a minute to go. Just over a minute to go. Put in, nodded on by Brentford. Can't quite make it. Played all the way back to track. All nice ball into the path of Ben Rama. He's through here. He's got Bowen next to him. It's a little bit caught up in it. Spins around, keeps possession of the ball, tries to lay it off there to Emerson. Doesn't quite work out. It was such a good opportunity there. It just really didn't work out. Again, it's just clearance was not good. It was not good. Another change now for Brentford. In the dying moments for this game, we're going to find out how much stoppage time will be here in just a moment. Ryan Trevette is coming on for Ben Mee. Jingle bell, jingle bell. Shout out Charlie Chaplin. You know, the great dictator. That speech at the end, big. Shout out belly dancers. Yep. I remember I went to a friend of mine's birthday a couple of years ago. So it's probably 2013, something around then, and it was in this restaurant, this Russian restaurant in central London. 4 minutes at a time, bloody hell. It was in this Russian restaurant in central London, and there was a belly dancer out of nowhere at a different table, and then she sort of came across to our table, and it was one of the most it was just an awkward experience. Because when you're not expecting it and you're not there for it, it's like, well, you know, what do you do? What do you do? Where do you look? It's very awkward. Look at him. Beautiful man. I put a jumper on him yesterday and the bottom crumbled, so I probably need to keep whatever's on him look quite lightweight like the jumper, because I put the jumper on as well. Belly buttons, yeah, good shout out to that. Shout out Classic Simpsons. Classic Simpsons is great. You know, I still I get on TikTok a lot. I get like Simpsons compilations quite a lot of like old school Simpsons clips. I just bloody love the old Simpsons, you know. Just love it. Callum 4 added minutes, so we've got 2 and a bit to go. Oh, that's a really good opportunity for Brentford. Jesus Christ, Wieser just found his way through and hit an absolute rocket. It doesn't go, thankfully it's off target, but bloody hell, that was scary for a moment. He got played through round the back, everyone caught out, and he just hits it first time. Snapshot just unleashes a lethal rough, and it just doesn't quite happen for him. I was aiming for rocket, and then I got confused between that and the word rough, and then it's just somewhere in the middle. Not great. Overland. Oh, yes. Shout out Refbok, underrated. Do you know what? Sergeant Bash, Matilda, Razor was good. Oh, good ball in. Stay into hands of Strack. Bowen can't quite get there, but not a bad ball in. I like the one, what was it called? Shout out Jade Cargill. She's just... like, not the best wrestler you've ever seen in ring, but everything else is incredible. And she's getting better at that. And once she's really good at that, unstoppable. What was the one? Bellator? The one, is it called Bellator? Something like that. The one that kept getting set on fire. That was like a ladybug. That one. That one. Brentford throw-in on the left-hand side. With just over a minute to go, I'll ask you now for man of the match. Stephen is calling for it, and we shall deliver. Let lob in the chat who your man of the match... Sorry, allow me to say all that again. I just crashed there. Lob in the chat who your man of the match is, and whoever gets the most amount of votes will win the Hammers Chat Man of the Match award. It would just be via vibes and looking here. You know, I'll never be able to see it. I'll never be able to judge fully. That's a great control by Brentford, and it's hooked away. And their goalkeeper's up for the corner here. And Ben Rama's flying away from it. They're trying desperately to defend Rico Henry. He does well to stop him from going forward there. That was a really nice opportunity. Close. Let's have a look at the man of the match awards. Flipping it. Brentford almost conceded the second there. Shout out, great Charles. Shout Dime Bars. Dime Bars are great. I'm getting confused. Right. Ben Rama, Ed, Ben Rama, Benny, shout out to Kill a Lot, Triggers Broom, Bowen, Ben Rama. My God, Benny has done more in 10 minutes than the whole team. One shot, one goal. Shout out to Widowmaker. Benny, Ed, Cheese, Ben Rama, Benny, Ben. And as the full-time whistle goes, I think it's very clear that Syed Ben Rama is the winner of today's Man of the Match award. Congratulations, Syed Ben Rama, on winning your Hammers Chat Man of the Match award, for getting the winner. An absolute belter. An absolute belter of a goal. Again, I feel like the goalkeeper maybe could have and should have done better, but apart from that, what about her? Thank you very much, Dave. Also, the bald bloke from Crystal Maze, get the harmonica out. A Man of the Match, Angelica Bell, for starting off a beautiful moment and for inspiring the victory. What time to be alive. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That is the end of the game. It ends West Ham United 1, somehow Brentford 0. Thank you very much for coming. Remember, if you are new around here, then make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, because we do match day stuff every single match. We were the only channel last year to do a watch along every single game last year, and we've got loads of other stuff going on. We obviously have the build-up show, we have the match watch along, we have the review, which is coming up in just a moment. Syed Ben Rama, just him and David Moyes just having a little laugh and a chuckle there. Can't wait for David Moyes to say something about him badly in the press conference. And like the video while you're down there, because that massively helps us. It pushes up the algorithm, all that good stuff. And we did hit 400. I've just seen us go past it. We're at 406. So thank you very much for that. It's very kind of you. Fred, I try not to swear anyway. If I did, I apologize. I do try not to anyway. Just because, you know, it happens, but I apologize if I did. But there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. I will be back next weekend. We have no match until then, thankfully. We can relax now. However, in the meantime, enjoy the rest of your week. And I will see you next time. We've actually won a game. David Moyes gets a stay of execution to some extent. Enjoy the review. Stick around. Geo Gonzo will be live in just a moment. See you later, everyone. Bye. 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 Bye.